My wife is a legendary diva. What should I do if I find a drunk, aloof mega pop star, and she starts clinging to me from then on? Chapter 1. A drunk cat breaks into my house. In the Magic City, at Dolphin Film and TV Company. At 5:30 p.m., after finishing his work, Xiaochu was about to clock out when he was stopped by the company's senior planning consultant, Li Wenqian. Xiaochu, come to my office for a moment. I need to talk to you about something. Sure, teacher. I'll be right there, Xiaochu replied. Xiaochu was a newly confirmed screenwriter at Dolphin Film and TV, and Li Wenqian was not only a senior consultant at Dolphin, but also a professor in the drama and literature department at Magic City Film Academy. He was also Xiaochu's mentor during college. Next Friday is Cece's birthday. She asked me to let you know that you're invited to her place for dinner, Li Wenqian said once they returned to his office. Xiaochu nodded. Got it. I'll definitely go visit Cece and Auntie. Cece was Li Wenqian's daughter, currently in her senior year of high school. Since Xiaochu had visited his teacher's home many times during college, they were fairly familiar with each other. Li Wenqian added, invite Lin Yu too. Your auntie has mentioned she hasn't seen her in a while and was asking about her. Is she still busy these days? Yeah, there are a few new projects in the imperial capital, and she and some classmates went to audition. If everything goes well, she should be able to come back by Friday. Well, the imperial capital does have more opportunities. It's good for young people to try out. By the way, I think I heard from Lubo that you two are planning to get engaged by the end of the year. A smile appeared on Xiaochu's face. We had discussed it before, but when exactly, we'll have to wait for Lin Yu to decide. Li Wenqian patted his shoulder. Cherish it. There aren't many couples from our school who make it from campus to marriage. Xiaochu nodded. I know. Thanks, teacher. If there's nothing else, may I leave now? Leave? There's still the most important thing to talk about. Huh. Xiaochu was a little surprised. Li Wenqian closed the office door and then continued, the main reason I called you in was to discuss work. The company is planning to produce a web series soon. It's a mystery genre. The specific direction and script haven't been finalized yet, but Manager Zhang from the production department wants everyone to contribute some ideas. In the end, he'll make the final decision. I think you're quite creative, and since you've officially become a screenwriter, why don't you give it a try? You might get selected. Xiaochu's eyes lit up. He hadn't expected the topic to be this. After thinking for a moment, he asked, Teacher, are there any specific requirements? Specific requirements. It needs to be quite unique, preferably a theme no other companies have done before. Also, the budget should be smaller, since it's only a web series, not for TV, Li Wenqian explained. A mystery genre, unique theme, low budget. Xiaochu quickly scanned his memories of excellent mystery TV shows from his past life. Many of them could be considered relatively fresh in this world. Seeing him thinking, Li Wenqian reminded, Xiaochu, even though it's just a web series with a small budget, I believe this is a good opportunity for you. I hope you take it seriously. The higher-ups have some expectations for this project. Recently, the movies and shows we've imported into Dolphin Video haven't been performing well, and we've been falling behind a few other streaming platforms. So, they want a web series to boost the popularity. If your script gets selected and the show does well, it will be great for your future. Dolphin Film and TV is a subsidiary of Dolphin Video, one of the top 5 video streaming platforms in Hua country, similar to the likes of Tencent, Youkuku, and IQIYI in Xiaochu's previous life. Yes, Xiaochu is from Earth. However, his journey here was a bit special, not a soul transfer, but rather, he had lived for over 20 years in this parallel world. Half a month ago, memories of his past life suddenly awakened in his mind. He is the same person in both worlds. Any ideas yet? Li Wenqian asked. Xiaochu smiled and nodded. I do have some ideas, but I'll need to think it through when I get home. Once I have something ready, I'll ask you to review it, teacher. No problem, but try to move quickly. The project details will be announced soon, and the higher-ups are anxious. Understood, I'll do my best. After bidding farewell to Li Wenqian, Xiaochu took the subway back to his rented apartment. Since he was planning to live with his girlfriend, Lin Yu, he had rented a larger place, and the rent wasn't cheap. Most of the savings he earned during college working part-time had gone into it. However, since Lin Yu was still out auditioning, she hadn't moved in yet, and Xiaochu was handling everything alone. After having some noodles for dinner, Xiaochu went into the study to work on the script. There were plenty of excellent mystery shows from his past life that he could adapt into something fresh here. But he also needed to meet the low budget requirement, so he had to choose carefully. This would be his first script as a full-fledged screenwriter and his first opportunity. He needed to make the most of it. After reviewing the top-rated mystery TV shows in his mind, Xiaochu quickly selected one. He then opened a document and started typing. For the script submitted before the project begins, they didn't have to be fully written out, just the plot summary, outline, character bias, and the first 2 episodes would suffice. But this wasn't an easy task. The plot summary, outline, and character bias were fine, but writing the content for the first 2 episodes was not simple. A typical TV episode runs for about 30-40 minutes, and a script would require at least 15,000 words. Moreover, it had to be precise with no fluff or confusion, detailing every scene, every detail, and even every shot. By the time Xiaochu finished the plot summary, outline, and character bias, it was already past 10 p.m. He went to the living room to get a glass of water, planning to take a short break before continuing with the script content. Suddenly, the sound of a key entering the lock came from outside. Lin Yu had returned? But she hadn't come here before, and didn't have a key, right? Just as Xiaochu was puzzled, the lock clicked open. A woman, who was drunk and wearing large sunglasses, stumbled into the room. Because the threshold was a bit high, the woman didn't notice it. She tripped and almost fell to the ground. Xiaochu instinctively stepped forward to catch her. Her soft, delicate body fell into his arms, but Xiaochu felt nothing. The strong smell of alcohol on her made him frown. He gently placed her on the sofa. As soon as the woman hit the sofa, her legs started kicking randomly, throwing off her high heels, nearly hitting Xiaochu. His frown deepened. "Xiaoari, water," the woman in sunglasses slurred. Xiaochu stood still unsure of the situation. Who was this woman? How did she have a key to his house? What should he do? Throw her out? Call the police? "Xiaoari, bring me some water, I need a drink," the woman repeated, still maintaining a cold, aloof tone despite her drunken state. In the end, Xiaochu poured her a glass of water, hoping to ask her what was going on once she sobered up. Splash! After drinking the water, the woman set the cup down on the coffee table and said, "My head hurts." Was she asking for a massage? This time, Xiaochu didn't fulfill her request. If he went to rub her forehead and she woke up, things could get complicated. "Hurry up, my head hurts so much." Oh, the woman suddenly gagged, about to throw up. Xiaochu was startled and quickly grabbed a nearby trash can to catch it. She vomited for a while before finally finishing. Xiaochu handed her some tissues. "Thanks," she said, wiping her mouth, before lifting her head to thank him. As she looked up, her huge sunglasses accidentally slid off, revealing a cold, stunningly beautiful face. Xiaochu was stunned. Xie Tingchan. Chapter 2. Xie Tingchan, one of the most famous female singers in Huagua. 7 years ago, she participated in the Qinger contest and won the Gold Award in the pop group. She signed with Dream Music, and from the moment she debuted, she shone brightly. In just a few years, she went from being a newcomer to a near first-tier female singer. Especially the year before, she reaped tremendous success. Her new album sold over 800,000 copies, earning her the 3rd golden record of her career. The title track, Jingnian, broke through from a sea of popular songs and was selected as one of the top 10 most popular songs of the year. She was hailed as a future diva. However, for reasons unknown, she had been somewhat silent in the past 2 years. Her momentum wasn't as strong as before, and not to mention becoming a diva, she was still a step away from truly reaching the top tier. Xiaochu never expected that this drunken woman with sunglasses would be Xie Tingchan. Another reason he was in a daze was because Xie Tingchan was so incredibly beautiful. He had seen her in videos and posters before, and knew she was very pretty, but only now, seeing her in person, did he realize just how stunning she was. She was incomparable, beyond words. If he had to describe it, Xiaochu could only say that in 2 lifetimes, he had never seen a woman more beautiful than her. Especially now, with her cold and elegant aura, yet her eyes were hazy with drunkenness as she gazed at him. Her red lips, after being wiped, were slightly parted, looking temptingly delicate. "Who are you? Why are you in my house?" Xia Tingchan fluttered her eyelashes, seemingly a bit sober now, her eyes gleaming as she stared at Xiaochu. Just as Xiaochu was about to speak, he saw Xia Tingchan lower her head and fall asleep. "Oh, this woman." In the end, Xiaochu carried Xia Tingchan to the spare room, then, suppressing his disgust, dealt with her vomit and mopped the floor. After everything was cleaned up, he still couldn't understand how Xia Tingchan had the key to his house. After a while, he thought of a possibility and dialed the landlady's number. "Auntie, why did you give the house key to someone else?" "Give the key to someone else?" "No." The landlady, who was playing mahjong, was surprised by Xiaochu's question. Xiaochu frowned. "But someone came into my house," he added, "and they used the key." The landlady muttered loudly, "How could that be? The only person I gave this key to, other than you, was the previous tenant. That was the famous diva Xia Tingchan. She's living in a mansion with a river view now. How could she still have the key to this place? Did a thief break in?" Xiaochu hung up the phone, solving the key mystery. But, just as the landlady had said, Xia Tingchan had a mansion with a river view, so why would she come back here in the middle of the night, reeking of alcohol? Unable to figure it out, Xiaochu decided to stop thinking about it. He glanced at the time, already 11 o'clock. He turned on the TV and switched to the entertainment channel, where today's entertainment headlines was being replayed. As a scriptwriter for a video website and an insider on the fringes of the entertainment industry, Xiaochu paid attention to entertainment news every day to stay updated on industry trends. Just as he tuned in, he heard Xia Tingchan's name. The host was reporting a piece of news about Xia Tingchan. Earlier that afternoon, she lost a music award she was nominated for to another popular female singer from the same company. The other singer, who was in competition with Xia Tingchan for the position of the company's top female artist, gave Xia Tingchan a provocative glance after receiving the trophy. The moment was clearly caught by the director and went viral online. Additionally, after the award ceremony, rumors surfaced that Xia Tingchan had fallen out with a longtime gold-producing music producer she had worked with. Meanwhile, the award-winning singer posted on social media, announcing that she had reached a collaboration agreement with this very same producer. Xiaochu glanced toward the room where Xia Tingchan was. So, was this the reason she got so drunk tonight? After watching entertainment headlines, Xiaochu turned off the TV, went back to his study, and continued writing his script. The next morning, Xiaochu placed the noodles he made on the dining table, then grabbed a piece of paper and wrote a note for Xia Tingchan. Just as he finished writing, he heard a sound. He turned around and was startled. Xia Tingchan had somehow woken up, holding a shiny kitchen knife, standing less than a meter away, and staring at him coldly. "Who are you? Why are you in my house?" After a brief shock, Xiaochu quickly calmed down, pointing at the surroundings and saying, "Sis, this is my house." "Nonsense. This is clearly my rented house." Xiaochu shook his head. The woman hadn't sobered up yet. Seeing Xia Tingchan's gaze turning dangerously sharp, as if she was about to swing the knife, Xiaochu quickly explained, "Sis, please calm down. You moved out of this house a few years ago. The landlady rented it to me after that." Xia Tingchan blinked, looking confused. After about 5 seconds, her expression gradually relaxed, and her eyes cleared. But she still didn't put down the kitchen knife and coldly said, "How did I end up here? What did you do last night?" Xiaochu rubbed his forehead, helplessly replying, "Sis, you should be asking, what did you do last night?" "What did I do last night? You threw up." Xia Tingchan. She silently put the kitchen knife back in the kitchen and sat face to face with Xiaochu at the dining table, furrowing her brows. After drinking a few sips of water, she finally recalled what had happened last night. She got drunk, opened the door, almost fell, took off her shoes, and vomited. She had experienced the most embarrassing moment of her life. And all of this had been witnessed by the man sitting across from her. Seeing Xiaochu slurping his noodles without a care, she asked with a straight face, "What's your name?" Xiaochu didn't lift his head. "Xiaochu. My name is Xia Tingchan." Xiaochu looked up at her. Was this woman's brain damaged by alcohol last night? How could she not know his name? He had called her name countless times. Xia Tingchan's eyelids twitched from his gaze, but her face remained serious as she said coldly, I hope you forget everything that happened last night and not tell anyone. You've never seen me, and I've never seen you. We've never known each other. Of course, to be fair, I'll give you a sum of money as a hush payment. Xiaochu lowered his head and continued eating his noodles. Xie Tingqian knocked on the table. Hey, did you hear what I said? Xiaochu put down his chopsticks, pushed the empty bowl forward, stood up, and said, Sis, we didn't know each other from the start. I have to go to work now, and because of the situation earlier, I'm a bit delayed last night. I cleaned up after your vomit, so once you're done eating, please wash the dishes. Then leave, lock the door, and return the key to the landlady. That way, we'll be even. Xie Tingqian. Xiaochu didn't care about her stunned expression, grabbed his laptop, and went to work. After Xiaochu left, Xie Tingqian looked at the empty dishes on the table, her delicate eyebrows furrowing. Chapter 3 Big Singer, that's it. After Xiaochu arrived at the company, at the morning meeting, Manager Zhang from the production department indeed announced the news that the company was going to make a new web drama. The specific requirements are the same as what Xiaochu's mentor Li Wenqian said. It is a suspense genre, requiring novel subject matter, and at the same time, the cost must be controlled below a certain line. In order to create the most outstanding scripts possible, Manager Zhang announced that every official screenwriter in the company can submit creative ideas or contributions, the more the better. Upon hearing the news, the first and second level senior screenwriters present were relatively calm. After all, it was just a low-budget web drama. The young screenwriters who attended the meeting were all quite excited. Xiaochu was no exception. The screenwriters in this world are clearly divided into levels, from low to high, namely Level 4 screenwriter, New screenwriter, Level 3 screenwriter, Level 2 screenwriter, Level 1 screenwriter, Master screenwriter, and Platinum screenwriter. There are relatively clear regulations on the authority and remuneration at each level. Great screenwriters who are at a high position can set up their own studios, which are basically on par with film and television companies. The Platinum screenwriters at the top have an even more transcendent status and terrifying power. As for the fourth and third level screenwriters at the lowest level, they are miserable. Not only do they have no status, but their remuneration is even lower. They are called coding migrant workers. Xiaochu is currently a Level 4 screenwriter who has just been converted to a full-time employee. After the meeting, everyone returned to their workstations. Xiaochu didn't care what others thought. After finishing some trivial matters, he started writing his manuscript. While eating in the cafeteria at noon, Xiaochu sat together with teacher Li Wenqian. Archu, the investment this time is indeed a bit small. Those first and second level screenwriters probably won't be interested. In fact, the competition is not very big. You should seize the opportunity. If the manuscript is good enough, the teacher will say a few good words for you in front of Manager Zhang. Li Wenqian urged and encouraged in a low voice. Everyone will often meet his or her own benefactor in his or her life. Xiaochu's benefactor is Li Wenqian, who has been with him or her since college. Xiaochu replied, Thank you, teacher. I will work hard. I have the subject matter and plot, and I will definitely not let you down. It's been decided so quickly. Then tell me quickly, what are you going to write? Xiaochu paused, and under Li Wenqian's expectant eyes, he uttered 4 words, Keep it secret for now. Hey, kid, are you trying to play this on me? Li Wenqian was so angry that he laughed. Xiaochu also smiled and said, Teacher, I have actually finished the outline, synopsis and character biographies of the script, and the content of the first episode is almost finished. It will take at most 2 days for me to finish writing the second episode. I will then give it to you for review. It will be more effective than telling you now. So fast. Li Wenqian was a little surprised. Generally speaking, it takes 3 to 5 days to write one episode of the script. However, since he gave Xiaochu the news yesterday, only one night and one morning had passed, and Xiaochu had already written the synopsis, outline, character biographies and the first episode. Isn't this efficiency too high? Xiaochu smiled and didn't explain. Normally it wouldn't be that fast, but the drama he made was not his original creation. Instead, he just wrote down the TV drama stored in his mind according to the pictures, which made it much simpler. Especially the synopsis, outline, characters, etc., just type them out directly, and there is no need to spend time and effort to sort them out. In this way, efficiency will naturally be high. Seeing Xiaochu smiling but not saying anything, Li Wenqian became even more angry and said, "Okay, then I'll wait 2 days and then take a look. I'm telling you in advance that if the quality is not up to standard, I will punish you by keeping you in school." Li Wenqian put on his airs as a division commander. He has always been fond of and tolerant of Xiaoqiu, his favorite student. But if Xiaoqiu really fails to act recklessly at this critical moment, he must be punished. Xiaoqiu picked up a chicken leg for Li Wenqian and motioned the teacher to eat first, not worrying about his warning at all. In the afternoon, Xiaoqiu continued to write. Punch out on time at 5:30. An hour later, Xiaoqiu returned to the rental house. He unlocked the door and walked in, and was stunned when he saw a beautiful figure curled up on the sofa. "Why haven't you left yet?" On the sofa, Xia Tingqian was holding 5 or 6 bags of snacks, with his cheeks bulging, like a hamster stealing pine cones. When she saw Xiaoqiu coming back and heard his words, she blinked her eyes, then swallowed the snacks in her mouth one by one with an expressionless face. Then he slowly placed the 5 or 6 bags of snacks in his hands on the coffee table. Finally, he calmly replied, "I'm tired these past 2 days and don't want to go to work today." Xiaoqiu first took a look at the 5 or 6 bags of snacks on the coffee table. Each bag had been opened and there was only a little left in each bag. He sighed and said, "If you don't want to work, you don't have to stay here. It doesn't matter where you rest." Xia Tingqian said coldly, "But I feel most relaxed when I'm here." "Why?" Xia Tingqian glanced at him and said, "You should know." Xiaoqiu was speechless. He now knew that the landlord, and he, had said that this was the house Xia Tingqian rented when she first debuted, and she had lived there for many years. From an unknown newcomer to becoming a star. The reason why she walked here in a daze after getting drunk last night must be that this place is worth her remembrance and can make her feel relaxed. But he lives in this house now. Then you can't stay here either. Xiaoqiu said. "I can pay you 3 times, or 5 times the rent." Xia Tingqian made a direct offer. Xiaoqiu shook his head. "That won't work either. I want to live with my girlfriend. It's not convenient for you to stay here." Xia Tingqian glanced at Xiaoqiu with a strange look in his eyes. It seems to be saying, "Someone like you, how can you have a girlfriend?" Xiaoqiu's face turned red as she looked at him. He stiffened his neck and said, "It's normal for me to have a girlfriend, right?" Xiaoqiu is not bragging. He is 1.8 meters tall, has a standard body, and has 6-pack abs when his clothes are lifted up. Coupled with his handsome looks, even in the Shanghai Film Academy, which is full of stars, he is still a handsome guy who is the school idol. Otherwise, why would Lin Yu, who has so many suitors and is obsessed with appearance, be with him? Hearing Xiaoqiu's words, Xia Tingqian turned his eyes and looked him up and down, as if he was looking at him seriously for the first time. After a few seconds, she looked away without commenting on the issue. Instead, he stood up and said, "I'm hungry." Then, under Xiaoqiu's astonished gaze, she walked to the bathroom in her slippers to wash her hands. "Do you want me to cook for her?" And she was wearing her newly bought slippers. And what she just ate were the snacks he prepared for Lin Yu. She actually took it without asking? So familiar? Meeting such a woman, Xiaoqiu was speechless. When Xia Tingqian came out of the bathroom, he found Xiaoqiu still standing there. She frowned and said, "Why don't you go cook?" Xiaoqiu didn't move, but stared at her thoughtfully and asked, "You didn't eat lunch, so you ate those snacks?" Xia Tingqian's pretty face turned slightly cold as she glared at Xiaoqiu. Xiaoqiu showed no sign of weakness and looked at her. Finally, under Xiaoqiu's gaze, Xia Tingqian turned her head to the side, pursed her lips, and made a muffled sound, "I won't do it." "Why don't you order takeout?" "I'm afraid of being recognized." Xiaoqiu smiled, "So, you're just going to eat those snacks and wait for me to come back?" Xia Tingqian turned around and said with a straight face, "I will give you money, 10 times the price of a 5-star hotel." Xiaoqiu shook his head and sighed, TSK, this is the popular singer Xia Tingqian? If those fans knew your character, how would they react? Xia Tingqian snorted coldly. But after humming, a hint of pink appeared on her neck. Chapter 4 If you don't leave, I'll call the police. When Xiaoqiu walked into the kitchen, he saw a pile of unwashed dishes on the countertop and his head hurt a little. Yelled, "Hey, you said you were going to wash the dishes." Xia Tingqian's voice came from the living room, "It's not agreed upon." "Didn't I tell you to wash the dishes when I left this morning?" Xia Tingqian, "I didn't agree." Xiaoqiu came to the kitchen door and looked at Xia Tingqian with some resentment. Xia Tingchan was eating some snacks again. When he heard the noise, he said without raising his head, "My hands are for playing the piano. I never touch women's clothes." He. Xiao Chu curled his lips. "You might as well say that you don't know how to wash, then I would be more accepting of it." Xiao Chu reluctantly returned to the kitchen, turned on the faucet and started washing the dishes. "The more I wash, the more unhappy I feel. No, we must ask this noble star to leave. We can't afford to serve such a great man." When Xiao Chu finished washing the dishes, steamed the rice and started cooking, Xia Tingchan walked to the kitchen in slippers. "I want to eat braised prawns, shredded pork with fish flavor, and grilled eggplant," Xia Tingchan said lightly. "These ingredients are all in the refrigerator. Xiao Chu bought them 2 days ago and prepared to cook for Lin Yu." Xiao Chu turned around and looked at her. "You're a singer, and you want to eat these oily and spicy foods. Aren't you afraid of gaining weight and hurting your throat?" Xia Tingchan didn't answer, but just looked at him quietly. "If you leave after eating, I will make it for you." Xiao Chu finally put forward a condition. Xia Tingchan turned and left, not knowing whether he agreed or not. Finally, Xiao Chu made steamed shrimps, shredded pork with fish flavor, grilled eggplant, and a portion of boiled vegetables, and placed the boiled vegetables in front of Xia Tingchan, asking her to eat as many boiled vegetables as she had eaten of the shredded pork with fish flavor and grilled eggplant, and to have as much steamed shrimp as she wanted. He didn't want to control Xia Tingchan, but she was praised as having a heavenly voice, and such a beautiful singing voice couldn't be ruined in his hands. He doesn't want to be a sinner for all eternity. When Xiao Chu finished speaking, Xia Tingchan looked at him quietly, but under Xiao Chu's uncompromising gaze, she obeyed silently. After dinner, Xia Tingchan became a hands-off boss as usual. After washing the dishes, Xiao Chu said to Xia Tingchan, who was curled up on the sofa watching TV, "You should leave." Xia Tingchan replied calmly, "It's time for you to leave." "Aha! I bought a set of clothes online. It's been delivered. Can you pick it up for me?" "Xiao Chu, do you really think you are a great god and treat me as a little devil?" However, a few minutes later, the little devil, Xiao Chu, went to get the package back. Judging from the label, it includes underwear, outerwear and trousers, so it's really a complete set. After taking out the clothes, Xia Tingchan went to take a shower. These were all high-end items. The store had paid attention to hygiene protection when packing them, so they could be worn directly without washing. Xiao Chu pursed his lips, went into the study, and continued to code the script for the second episode, trying to finish it quickly so that he could submit it. After taking a shower, Xia Tingchan walked around the house and saw Xiao Chu typing in the study. She watched him from a distance for a while, then went to the living room to watch TV. At 10:50, Xiao Chu had been coding for 2 hours and took a break. I went to the living room to pour some water and found Xia Tingchan was still there, watching TV and playing with his phone. Xiao Chu sat on the other side of the sofa and, as usual, turned the TV to the entertainment channel to watch the rerun of entertainment headlines. Xia Tingchan glanced at him and said, "Can you write scripts?" Xiao Chu took a sip of water and replied, "I am a contracted screenwriter for Dolphin Films, so of course I can write scripts." "Oh? Has it been made into a TV series or movie? I want to take a look." Xiao Chu opened his mouth slightly, unable to answer. "It will be available soon," Xiao Chu said with all his strength. Xia Tingchan didn't comment, but the corners of his mouth curled up slightly, imperceptibly. Xiao Chu turned his head to watch TV and ignored the woman. At this moment, the TV screen changed, and the female anchor of entertainment headlines reported, according to the latest news from our reporter, Zhu Maiyang, who defeated Xia Tingchan to win the Most Impactful Female Singer Award at the Internet Boiling Point Music Awards ceremony yesterday, has confirmed that she will cooperate with the famous gold medal music producer Yao Dasan. Both parties announced that they will create new singles and new albums in the near future. Zhu Maiyang also loudly declared that she and Yao Dasan are a strong combination. "I believe that the new singles and new albums carefully produced by both parties will be able to rush to the platinum charts and set off a new music craze. As we all know, Yao Dasan and Xia Tingchan have worked together for many years and have created many classic songs. I wonder what Xia Tingchan will think after hearing this news." Xiao Chu looked at Xia Tingchan. Xia Tingchan's pretty face turned dark. She raised her hand, turned off the TV, and walked into the room. Bang! The door was slammed shut. Xiao Chu shook his head, drank a sip of water, returned to the study and continued working. The next morning, Xia Tingchen seemed to have returned to normal. While eating breakfast, Xiaochu said, "Miss Xia, you have to leave today because my girlfriend will be back soon after her audition." Xia Tingchen raised his eyes to look at him. "Is your girlfriend an actress?" What's your name?" "Lin Yu." Xia Tingchen was eating bread and didn't make any sound. Xiaochu didn't care what she thought and said, "So you have to leave later." "I don't want her to misunderstand. Since I have served you for a whole day, please give me some face, Miss Xia, and don't make things difficult for me." Xia Tingchen looked at him with bright eyes and continued eating bread. After eating and cleaning up the table, Xiaochu was in a hurry and hurried to work with his computer. However, before leaving, he did not forget to make a harsh statement. If Xia Tingchen was still there when he came back from get off work today, he would choose to call the police. Standing on the balcony, after watching Xiaochu's back go away, Xia Tingchen picked up his mobile phone and made a call. "Xiaoari, come pick me up at Ruanxi Park." "Sister Chan, your call finally got through." Sister Liu was so worried. Okay, I'll be right over. Please wait a moment. Xiaoari will be here soon." On the other end of the phone, the assistant girl's excited voice came. Half an hour later, Xia Tingchen appeared at the east gate of Ruanxi Park, not far from the community, and got into a BMW 5 Series. The driver was a very young girl with a round face, who was Xia Tingchen's assistant Xiaoari. "Sister Chan, where have you been for the past 2 days? Sister Liu and I can't find you anywhere. Sister Liu is so worried that something has happened to you that she's almost calling the police." "Nowhere, just found a place to rest for a while," Xia Tingchen said lightly. Xiaoari looked at the rearview mirror and said, "I'm glad Sister Chan is okay. By the way, on their way here, I talked to Sister Liu on the phone. She asked us to go back to the villa first because she had something important to tell us." Xia Tingchen nodded, "Okay." Xiaoari patted her chest and breathed a sigh of relief. As long as Sister Chan was willing to cooperate, that was good enough. The night before yesterday, she lost Xia Tingchen. Her agent, Sister Liu, scolded her severely. If anything unexpected happened on the road again, she would not be able to survive. It's a pity that she just graduated from college and has to work as an artist assistant, but she has to risk losing her life. A BMW 530 drove into the Bishui No. 3 Riverview Villa, and a capable woman in her 30s was waiting at the door. It was Xia Tingchen's agent, Liu Jie. After Xia Tingchen got out of the car, she looked him up and down carefully for a few seconds and asked, "Are you okay?" Xia Tingchen shook his head, "It's okay." "Then I feel relieved." Liu Jie said, "I called you back to tell you about Zhu Maiyang." Xiaoari raised her eyebrows and looked at Sister Liu in disbelief. Before Sister Chan called, wasn't she angry and anxious, almost going crazy? How come now that they met, she acted as if nothing had happened? Liu Jie pinched Xiaoari's chubby face and continued to say to Xia Tingchen, "That woman surnamed Zhu is really having an affair with Yao Dashan. According to inside information, they are planning to release a new single within 3 months and aim to hit the platinum charts. I have contacted other big-name music producers and asked them to make a song for you. You must not be suppressed by that woman named Zhu." Zhu Maiyang and Xia Tingchen both belong to Dream Music, but Liu Jie is trying to steal Xia Tingchen's girl, which makes Liu Jie very angry. She is determined to suppress Zhu Maiyang's momentum and limelight. After hearing her words, Xia Tingchen's expression did not change much. Just as Liu Jie was reporting on the negotiations with other big-name music producers, Xia Tingchen suddenly said, "Sister Liu, can you help me find an actress named Lin Yu first?" Liu Jie and Xiaoari were both confused. Chapter 5, River God. 2 days later, Xiaochu finally finished writing the second episode of the script. After arriving at the company, he printed out 3 copies of the synopsis, outline, character biographies, and script content, bound them, and went to find his teacher Li Wenqian. In the senior planning consultant's office, Li Wenqian carefully flipped through the pages one by one, and his eyes became brighter the more he read. When he finished watching the last scene of the series, he closed the manuscript with a melancholy look on his face, as if he was still a little unsatisfied. "Teacher, how is it?" Xiaochu asked in a low voice. Although he was very confident about this Republican suspense drama which had a very good reputation in its previous life, this was after all the first drama he had moved in. He couldn't guarantee 100% whether the high-quality dramas from that world would be equally popular in this world. Seeing Xiaochu's slightly nervous look, Li Wenqian showed an elegant smile and said, "To be honest, I was amazed. No wonder you kept me in suspense, it's really something special, it brought me a surprise." Suspense dramas in the Republic of China are a mixture of urban life, characteristics of the times, and folk legends. They are down to earth and full of mystery and suspense, which meets the curiosity and exploration psychology of the current young generation of internet users. The characters in it, such as the Little River God, the Little Witch, the Old River God, and the inspector who speaks in Tianjin dialect, are all very distinctive. Most importantly, this kind of suspenseful theme of the Republic of China, which is full of urban anecdotes, folk legends, and both true and false, has never been done before. It is very brilliant and novel, and it will definitely be popular if it is filmed. Very good. Li Wenqian concluded with the word very good, expressing his affirmation and appreciation. Xiaochu smiled. Hearing these words, he felt relieved. In fact, he spent some time thinking about which suspense drama to choose. When he heard that a suspense drama was going to be made, he immediately went through all the various suspense themes in the world and found that the mainstream on the market were either detective dramas or zombie and ghost dramas, while a theme like this one that mixed urban anecdotes and folk legends had never appeared before. After discovering this virgin land, it is self-evident which direction to choose. Among all the suspense works in the past, the most popular one is undoubtedly the Ghost Blows Out the Light series. From physical books to audios, movies, and TV series, they are all sought after by millions and are popular in the Chinese-speaking world. Several TV drama versions such as The Lost Tomb and The Wrath of the West Hun also achieved great success in both word of mouth and ratings, and can be written directly based on them. However, Xiaochu did not choose Ghost Blows Out the Light in the end because there was another requirement that needed to be met: low cost. The company is making a web drama with a limited budget, but the world structure of Ghost Blows Out the Light is magnificent and grand, and it will cost a lot to make it well. It is the pearl among the suspense works of the Republic of China in Xiaochu's mind, and he does not want to destroy the beauty in his heart because of the budget. So, in the end, Xiaochu chose River God. River God was also written by B.A. Charn. After being adapted into a TV series, it performed very well and had excellent reputation, triggering a viewing craze. Before Xiaochu traveled through time, a second part was also released. Most importantly, it is also a web series and is within the budget range. Teacher, do you think this River God suits Manager Zhang's taste? Xiaochu asked. Li Wenqian shook his head and smiled. I can't say whether it suits his taste or not, but as a senior producer, I believe he can definitely see the market value of this drama. Okay, don't push me so much, I'll go find Lao Zhang right now, just wait for my good news. Xiaochu played dumb. How could I, teacher? Take care. Li Wenqian glared at him unhappily. You little bastard. After cursing, he picked up the manuscript and walked towards the manager's office. Zhang Songher, manager of Dolphin Film and Television Production Department, is a middle-aged man with ordinary looks but very rigorous in his work. Many years ago, he was an associate professor at the Shanghai Film Academy. He had an old friendship with Li Wenqian. It took him a lot of effort to get Li to work as a part-time senior consultant at Dolphin. Seeing Li Wenqian coming in, he asked, Old Li, what's up? Li Wenqian raised the manuscript in his hand and said, Xiaochu's script is finished. I took a look at it and thought it was pretty good. I'll give it to you for your review. Zhang Songher was a little surprised, so fast. Li Wenqian smiled proudly and said, That's right, don't you see whose disciple you are? Zhang Songher took the manuscript and replied as he flipped through it, It's only been 3 days. It was completed in such a short time. Do you really think so highly of your favorite student's manuscript? Li Wenqian chuckled, If the quality isn't up to par, I wouldn't have the face to give it to you. 10 minutes later, Zhang Songher finished reading the manuscript. Li Wenqian asked, How is it? Zhang Songher hesitated for a moment and said, Old Li, please go out for a while. I will reply to you later. When Li Wenqian saw his expression, he knew what he was doing and walked out leisurely. Okay, I'll wait. Not long after, director Lu Gaoxing and professional producer Zhu Qing walked into the production manager's office. Zhang Songher handed over a manuscript to each person and said, This was written by Xiaochu, a student of consultant Li Wenqian. Please take a look. Lu Gaoxing and Zhu Qing were both a little suspicious, but after opening the manuscript, their eyes soon became very bright and there was some surprise on their faces. After they all finished watching, Zhang Songher asked, "How is it? Tell me what you think." Lu Gaoxing and Zhu Qing looked at each other. Zhang Songher said, "Old Lu, you are the director, you speak first." Lu Gaoxing is about the same age as Zhang Songher. He paused and said, "I think it's very good. First of all, the script combines the life of the Republic of China and folk legends. The subject matter is very novel. Secondly, the plot is also very exciting. In the prologue, the eldest son of the Ding family is chased by a man in black late at night. With nowhere to go, he is forced to jump into the river. Suddenly, the little river god appears. In the dark water, two people stand one above and one below, their heads facing each other silently. This first scene is very captivating. The first scene of the feature film, the river worship ceremony, is full of mystery and wonder, and the scene and momentum are also magnificent, which can quickly catch the audience's attention. Also, the scene in the back where the old river god lights a cigarette to clarify the injustice is full of imagination, amazing and romantic. To sum it up, the quality is very high and it has great ratings prospects. Zhang Songher nodded and turned to Zhu Qing. "Xiao Zhu, what do you think?" Zhu Qing was a young man in his early 30s who looked quite smart. After hearing what Zhang Songher said, he replied, "I am a producer, speaking from a production perspective. The main scenes in the play are a dock, several courtyards, and Western-style buildings. They are all available in the film and television base and can be filmed." After listening to the two project leaders, Zhang Songher smiled and said, "It seems that the three of us agree. So, let's use this play as the new project." Zhu Qing nodded in agreement. Director Lu Gaoxing hesitated for a moment and said, "Manager, we haven't read the other people's manuscripts yet. Isn't it a bad idea to just decide now? After all, among those screenwriters who have submitted their intentions, several have some connections with the old people in the company." Zhu Qing curled his lips. Zhang Songher raised his eyebrows and said, "Then let's decide on River God for now, but don't announce it yet. Wait until other people's manuscripts are submitted, then take a look. If there is nothing better, then choose this one. You two can prepare for various matters first. I am very optimistic about this drama, River God. Even if I end up choosing other dramas this time, I will not give up on this drama. In order to start filming as soon as possible and improve efficiency, I will also ask Lao Li to notify Xiao Chu to continue writing the next episodes. Once it is finalized, we will start filming immediately." Lu Gaoxing and Zhu Qing nodded together. Chapter 6 is set, preparations begin. Xiao Chu was resting at his workstation when Li Wenqian came over and asked him to go to his office. After entering, Xiao Chu asked directly, "Teacher, is there any result?" Li Wenqian said with a smile, "Yes, Manager Zhang has taken a fancy to your drama, but it still needs to go through the procedures and will be announced next week. He asked you to hurry up and write the rest of the series, and try to finish the first 8 episodes as soon as possible, so that you can start filming as soon as the director and producer are ready." Xiao Chu nodded. There were 6 episodes left, and he could finish writing them in a week at the fastest, or 11 or 12 days at the slowest. "Just copy it, there is no pressure." "Okay, I have to go back to school for classes these few days, so I won't be here. You should work hard and seize the opportunity. Don't forget to come to my house for dinner next Friday to celebrate Cece's birthday." Li Wenqian advised with great satisfaction. Xiao Chu smiled and said, "Teacher, don't worry. The gifts for Cece and Master's wife are already prepared." Li Wenqian looked at him. Xiao Chu blinked, then suddenly realized and added, "Of course, I won't forget to bring wine for the teacher." Only then did Li Wenqian let him go with satisfaction. His daughter and wife both got gifts, so how could he, a teacher, not get any? Didn't you see that he was busy running around for his first drama just now? You can't be so heartless. Looking at the teacher's childish appearance, Xiao Chu smiled brightly. At noon, Li Wenqian returned to the Shanghai Film Academy, and Xiao Chu went to the company cafeteria to eat alone. Halfway through the meal, he couldn't help but take out his cell phone and sent a WeChat message to Lin Yu. "Xiao Shizenline, Xiao Yue, the first drama I wrote has been picked up by a company and will start filming soon." After waiting for a long time, there was no response from the other side. WeChat didn't ring until Xiao Chu finished his meal and was about to return to the office. "Fish in the forest, congratulations." Seeing Lin Yu's reply, Xiao Chu immediately ran to the small rooftop outside the office and sent Lin Yu a video invitation. He hadn't seen Lin Yu for more than half a month and missed him a little. But what surprised Xiao Chu a little was that Lin Yu refused the video. Fish in the forest, I just finished my audition and am still on the road, very tired. Xiao Chu was stunned for a moment, then responded quickly. Xiao Shizenlang, then we won't video chat anymore. Be careful on the road, have a good rest when you get back, and we'll contact each other in the evening. Fish in the forest, well, you should also pay attention to writing and don't get tired. I'm logging off. Looking at the dialogue box, Xiao Chu was stunned. After a few seconds, he put away his phone, returned to his workstation, and continued writing. Bishui number 3 River View Villa, karaoke room. Xue Tingchan had just finished playing a song when Liu Jie walked in. Tingchan, the forest fish you asked me to check a few days ago has results. I printed it out. It's all here. Take a look. Xue Tingchan turned sideways and took the information. Liu Jie couldn't help but ask curiously, Tingchan, she's just an ordinary little actress who hasn't acted in many plays. Why do you want me to check her out? Just taking a look. Xue Tingchan replied indifferently. As she spoke, she turned to the first page of information and saw the photo on it. After looking at it for a while, she turned the page again. When she saw the content on the third page, she frowned slightly, seeming a little surprised, with some inexplicable emotions. Liu Jie and Xiao'er beside her looked at each other. Did they look like they were just taking a look? In the next few days, Xiao Chu focused on finishing his manuscript. By Monday, I had finished writing the third and fourth episodes. At 11 o'clock in the morning, the results of the script collection came out, and Xiao Chu's River God was the winner. Seeing this announcement, Xiao Chu breathed a sigh of relief and a smile appeared on his face. At the workstation next to him, a screenwriter named Li Bin felt very upset and couldn't help but say, Xiao Chu, don't be too proud too soon. It will be even more embarrassing when the project is cut short. Li Bin, a third-level screenwriter, also participated in this script solicitation and had some connections among the company's senior management. However, he lost to Xiao Chu, a newcomer who had just been promoted to a full-time employee, which made him very unconvinced. Hearing his words, Xiao Chu turned around and said with a smile, Thank you for your advice, I will definitely write it carefully and try not to get it cut off. The filming of web dramas in this world is different from that in the previous life where they were filmed before being broadcast. Instead, it is similar to the model in South Korea on Earth, where they are filmed and broadcast at the same time. The length of each web drama is generally 24 or 32 episodes. In order to reduce risks, web drama production companies usually shoot 8 episodes first and release 4 episodes online every week. If the performance is not good, they will shoot another 4 episodes to finish off, thus cutting the original 24 or 32 episodes into 12 episodes. Only those who perform well will be filmed as planned. Those that perform well after going online will be arranged for the second and third seasons. Therefore, there is nothing wrong in treating Li Bin's sarcastic remarks as advice. Of course, Xiao Chu is very confident in his River God. In the afternoon, Xiao Chu met director Lu Gaoxing and producer Zhu Qing in the manager's office. Xiao Chu, I didn't expect you to be so young. He was able to write such an excellent script just after becoming a full-time employee. The young are truly to be feared. Lu Gaoxing looked at the young Xiao Chu and couldn't help but praise him. Hello, Teacher Lu. I am still a newcomer in the film and television industry and still need your support. Xiao Chu replied modestly. Lu Gaoxing and manager Zhang Songher looked at each other. This kid is talented and humble. He is a good prospect. Zhu Qing leaned against the desk, looked at Xiao Chu and said, I heard from consultant Li that this play was completely your original creation. Even he kept it secret before printing it out. Xiao Chu said, although I wrote it alone, it is inseparable from the teacher's previous teachings. As for keeping it a secret from him, it was just a joke. After I finish writing it, I still have to let the teacher check it. Zhu Qing nodded and said nothing more. Zhang Songher then said, Xiao Xiao, how are the subsequent episodes being written? Xiao Chu replied, I have finished writing the third and fourth episodes. I will finish the remaining 4 episodes in a week. Zhang Songher smiled with satisfaction and said, it's efficient, that's good. The higher-ups have given the order to start filming River God as soon as possible. Since Xiao Chu can keep up with the script, let's speed up the process. Laolu, Xiaoju, how are things going over there? Lu Gaoxing and Zhu Qing nodded at the same time. Zhang Songhe clapped his hands. Okay, that's settled. The three of you will discuss the rest. I only have one request, start filming within 10 days. After leaving the manager's office, Zhu Qing left first. Lu Gaoxing pulled Xiaochu aside to discuss the script. Xiaochu only wrote the literary script, and the specific storyboard script for filming was personally handled by director Lu Gaoxing. After the communication, Lu Gaoxing urged Xiaochu again, asking him to finish writing the remaining 4 episodes and send them to him as soon as possible. It would take him some time to turn them into a shooting script. Xiaochu naturally agreed readily. He is also looking forward to the filming of his first drama to start as soon as possible. Chapter 7 Breakup. Friday came in a blink of an eye. Xiaochu has finished writing 2 more episodes of the script, and only the 7th and 8th episodes are left to be completed for the early stage of filming. Director Lu Gaoxing and producer Zhu Qing are also working on the preparations in full swing. We can start shooting the first episode as soon as Xiaochu submits his manuscript. Li Wenqian had nothing to do at the Shanghai Film Academy, so he came here at noon and had lunch with Xiaochu. He was paying close attention to the progress of River God. Xiaochu told him the details. Li Wenqian was also very happy to hear that everything went well. As he was speaking, Xiaochu's cell phone rang. It was Lin Yu calling. Teacher, let me answer the call. Xiaochu said as he picked up the phone. Li Wenqian waved his hand and said, go ahead. A few minutes later, Xiaochu came back with his cell phone, his brows slightly furrowed. What's wrong? Li Wenqian asked with concern when he saw him like this. Lin Yu said that she still has a few scenes to audition and she isn't done yet, so she won't be able to come back tomorrow to celebrate Cece's birthday. She asked me to say hello to Master's wife on her behalf and wish Cece a happy birthday. Xiaochu explained. Li Wenqian was stunned for a moment, then laughed and said, oh, I thought you two had a quarrel. What's the big deal? Of course, work is more important. Since she has the opportunity to join a big crew in the imperial capital, she certainly can't miss it because of such a small matter. You don't have to worry about it. Young people should focus on their careers. As for Cece's birthday, we were just going to have a simple meal together. We can do the same next time we have time. Xiaochu nodded and decided not to think about it for the time being. After getting off work in the afternoon, Xiaochu went back to the rental house, took a shower, changed into dry clothes, took gifts for Cece and his master's wife, as well as wine prepared for Li Wenqian, and took a taxi to the Li family. It was master's wife Yi Huan who opened the door. Seeing Xiaochu carrying a lot of bags in his hands, she was not happy and complained, I just asked you to come to my house for a simple meal, why did you bring so many things? Xiaochu smiled and said, nothing much, just a gift for Cece, and a set of cosmetics for you, master's wife, and 2 bottles of wine for the teacher. When I was in college, he often came to my house for free food and drinks. Now that I'm working, I can't afford to come back if he still comes with nothing. He Huan glared at him in disapproval, took the gift, weighed the 2 bottles of wine for Lao Li, and found them very heavy. She asked, did your teacher force you to buy these? Xiaochu quickly shook his head and didn't betray Lao Li, no, I just want to honor my teacher and his wife. Li Wenqian heard the noise and half of his body popped out from the kitchen. He had an apron tied around his waist and a kitchen knife in his hand, looking like a house cook. Archu, please sit down first, the food will be ready soon. Xiaochu washed his hands and walked to the kitchen, teacher, let me help you. Before Li Wenqian could say anything, his master's wife spoke first, no need, go to the living room and rest first. Your teacher has finally come to the kitchen, don't bother with him. After that, he knocked on the door of the small bedroom again, Cece, come out quickly, your brother Xiaochu is here. After a long while, the bedroom door opened and a girl who looked like a high school student walked out. It is today's protagonist Cece, whose full name is Li Xinyan. Li Xinyan was wearing a loose white t-shirt that reached down to her knees, revealing her white and tender calves. She was holding a lollipop in her mouth, looking pure, pretty and full of youthfulness. After coming out, she first glanced at Xiaochu, then looked behind him and asked, isn't Lin Yu here with you? Xiaochu shook his head. She is in the capital and has too much work to come back. Let me wish you a happy birthday on her behalf. Hearing this, Li Xinyan took the lollipop out of her mouth, and her expression brightened up significantly, as if the sky had suddenly turned from cloudy to sunny. I accept your blessing, so, what gift did you bring me? Li Xianyan asked with his hands behind his back. Xiaochu said, a set of Toriyama's collector's edition of Oral Warriors. I asked my classmate to mail it back from Fuso. Hold it for me. Li Xianyan stuffed the lollipop into Xiaochu's hand and ran over to open the gift box. Soon she took out the most popular girl comic, Oral Warrior, in the country of Fuso from the gift box. Touching the cool texture on the cover, she narrowed her eyes and nodded slightly. Well, I'm very satisfied. Bang! Hewan, the mistress of the master who was passing by, couldn't stand it anymore and gave her a slap on the face. How can you talk to your brother Xiaochu like that? Be normal, thank you, brother Xiaochu. Li Xianyan doubled over in pain, holding her head like a kitten with its fur standing on end, and yelled, Mom, this is the 5th time you've hit me this week. If you hit me again, I'll call the police and report you for child abuse. The master's wife said disdainfully, You are almost an adult, why are you still a child? You are crazy. So you know I'm going to be an adult soon, but you keep hitting me. Are you trying to force me to duel with you? The master's wife was too lazy to pay attention to this crazy girl and went to the kitchen to help Lao Li pick vegetables. Li Xianyan rubbed the place where he was hit for a long time before taking his hand away in frustration. Glancing at the kitchen, he saw the two men mumbling something to each other, walked up to Xiaochu, and said sullenly, Thank you, brother Xiaochu. Xiaochu raised the lollipop in his hand and asked with a smile, Do you want more? Li Xianyan took the lollipop, hugged Oral Warrior, and went back to the bedroom. During the meal, Xiaochu greeted the master's wife on behalf of Lin Yu and wished Li Xianyan a happy birthday again. Li Xianyan was gnawing on a piece of fish head and responded vaguely. The master's wife said with some regret, The last time I saw Lin Yu was on your birthday 3 months ago, right? I was thinking of asking her to come to our house for dinner. This girl has a good personality, I like her. Teacher Li Wenxian said, Young people, work is important, and you can eat anytime. The master's wife rolled her eyes at him, Don't you know that work is important? I just haven't seen you for a long time, so I just talked casually. Then he turned to Xiaochu, By the way, Archu, I heard from your teacher that you are planning to get engaged at the end of the year. Have you told both sets of parents? Xiaochu replied, I mentioned it to my parents once before, but I'm not sure about Lin Yu's situation. The master's wife said, It's good to get engaged early, it's more stable, and you two are a good match. Snap. The fish head that Li Xianyan was chewing suddenly fell into the bowl, making a loud noise that scared everyone. The master's wife was slightly annoyed and asked, Li Xianyan, what's wrong with you? Li Xianyan frowned and said, I'm eating right now, why are you talking about this? I almost got a fish bone stuck in my throat. The mistress spat, Hey, girl, what bones can you chew on a fish head? Besides, what does our chat have to do with a little girl like you? Li Xianyan put down her chopsticks and said, Today is my birthday, how come it has nothing to do with me? The master's wife was angry, Oh, you really want to rebel today, right? Li Xianyan pulled out the stool, stopped eating, and turned to go into the room. The master's wife also threw down her chopsticks, huffing. Xiaochu looked at the mother and daughter who suddenly started quarreling, and was confused. Li Wenxian seemed to be used to it and started to persuade them. After all, they are mother and daughter, and there is no overnight hatred. Under Li Wenxian's persuasion, Li Xianyan came out soon. The master's wife also gave face to Xiaochu and stopped being angry. Since I couldn't finish my meal, I just started eating cake. Li Xianyan had a sullen face, and the master's wife started nagging again, treating Xiaochu as her own son, but did not mention Lin Yu's name again. After eating the cake, Xiaochu sat for another 10 minutes and said goodbye. At the signal from the master's wife, Li Xianyan sent Xiaochu downstairs. After returning to the rental house, Xiaochu found it funny to recall that the mother and daughter made up after a short while of quarreling. He sent a WeChat message to Lin Yu, telling her that he had brought his blessings. About half an hour later, Lin Yu replied. Fish swimming in the forest, Xiaochu, let us break up. Chapter 8 The little fish chooses to swim to the sea. Xiaochu, let's break up. Looking at the message sent by Lin Yu, Xiaochu's mind went blank, as if he heard the sound of a light bulb breaking in his ears, and the surroundings were dark. After a long time, his world slowly began to light up. He typed a reply. Xiao Shizenlan, why? This time Lin Yu came back very quickly. Fish in the forest, I don't want to rent a house after graduation. It makes me feel insecure. When Xiaochu saw this, he frowned slightly, paused for a moment, and continued typing. Xiao Shizenlang, the script I wrote will start filming soon, and things will get better and better. Fish in the forest, how much can you get after filming starts? Can a level 4 screenwriter like you who just got promoted earn 100,000 yuan for writing a play? Xiaochu's face turned pale, and he bit his lips and slowly pressed the 9-key grid. Xiao Shizenlang, if the performance is good after it goes online and there are many clicks, there will be a bonus. It's a considerable amount. Moreover, I believe I will make progress, and I will get more if I write a drama. I waited for a long time, but there was no reply from Lin Yu. Xiaochu frowned, exited WeChat, and made a phone call. It turned out that I had been blocked. Xiaochu frowned even more tightly. Ding dong. WeChat suddenly rang again. Xiaochu opened WeChat and found that Lin Yu had sent another message. Fish swimming in the woods, sorry, little fish chooses to swim to the sea. Xiaochu read the message word by word, his expression silent. He understands. He is just a pool of water in the mountains, not the sea. After exiting WeChat, Xiaochu turned off his phone and looked at the flashing neon lights outside the window in the night. He suddenly felt that this city was a little strange. One night and dawn. 2 days later, on Monday, Xiaochu finished writing the 7th and 8th episodes of River God and sent them to manager Zhang's email. Half an hour later, Zhang Songher finished reading the manuscript and called Xiaochu. Xiao, the manuscript is very good. Thank you for your hard work. I will forward it to Laolu and Zhu Qing right away. We will officially start filming in 3 days. Xiaochu said, Manager, since there is no problem with the manuscript, I would like to take a day off. You want to ask for leave, your voice is not right, why is it so hoarse? Are you tired from finishing your manuscript, or are you sick? Zhang Songher was a little surprised to hear that Xiaochu wanted to ask for leave, and suddenly realized that his voice was not right. Xiaochu replied, maybe he was tired from finishing the manuscript, so he wanted to take a break. Zhang Songher was silent for a few seconds, then said, I know that because I pushed you so hard, the 3 of you are under a lot of pressure. Let me give you 2 days off. Have a good rest at home, and then you can join the crew directly. If there are any problems with the script, I'll let Laolu contact you directly by phone or WeChat. Thank you, Mr. Zhang. After hanging up the phone, Xiaochu walked into the bedroom and fell on the bed. At noon, Li Wenqian came and knocked on the door, but he didn't hear it. Is Archu really sick, or is he out playing? The phone is not connected and the door is not open. Li Wenqian stood at the door, feeling a little worried. He received a call from Zhang Songher and learned that Xiaochu was not in good condition, so he rushed here from the Shanghai Film Academy, but he didn't see him. He banged on the door again, but still no response. He's a grown man. If he gets sick, he should know to go to the hospital. Nothing will happen to him, right? Li Wenqian frowned, still a little worried. Finally he left because he had something to do at the college in the afternoon and had to hurry back. He called his wife Yuan and asked her to come over in the afternoon when she was free, and to make sure nothing happened to the child. Xiaochu didn't wake up until dark. He didn't know that Li Wenqian had come, but after turning on his phone, he saw a string of missed calls and knew that his teacher and his wife were worried about him. He called Li Wenqian and his master's wife back and told them that he was fine, just tired and had a good sleep. After receiving his call, Li Wenqian was no longer worried, but his master's wife Yuan was still a little worried and said she would come over to see him and make him a pot of chicken soup. Xiaochu didn't want to see anyone at this time, and he had to persuade his master's wife to stay. After hanging up the phone, he washed his face and walked into the twilight. It was around 9 o'clock in the evening and Xiaochu was sitting in Suyi's bar. The bar was lively, the crowd was dancing and making noise, the DJ on the stage turned up the volume to the maximum, and the singer was swinging his guitar and screaming. Xiaochu only drinks. After a while, the DJ stopped the music, the crowd quieted down, and the host came on stage to perform an activity. Today is the bar's music expression day. Whoever the light shines on will be the lucky one today and will be invited to sing on stage. You can sing anything. It doesn't matter how you sing. Just sing it out loud. The first person chosen was a fashionable and hot girl. After coming on stage, she sang a fast English song confidently and cheerfully, which heated up the atmosphere from the beginning. The second person chosen by the lights was a timid boy with acne on his face. After repeated encouragement from the DJ and the host, he sang a love song and wanted to confess his love to a girl in the audience with a blushing face. But not only was he shy and introverted, his singing was also not very good, and his singing went off the track in a very weird way. However, in such an occasion, it doesn't matter whether the singing is good or not, as long as you dare to sing, it will be effective. With everyone's encouragement, the girl in the audience blushed, looked at him shyly, and lowered her head. When the boy walked past the stage, she stretched out her hand with a reluctant look. The third time, the light shone on Xiaochu. Xiaochu was drinking, but he felt that the light was a little dazzling, so he shook his head and continued to pick up the glass and pour it into his mouth. Under the bright white light, this scene was seen by everyone in the bar. "Wow, this style is so handsome!" a girl couldn't help but exclaimed. "It's kind of cool." The boys couldn't help but agree. "But why do you look so sad?" A little girl felt inexplicably distressed. At this moment, the host came to the stage and shouted, "Brother, you are the third lucky winner today. Come on stage, show your singing voice, and release all your emotions at the moment." Others followed the host and shouted, asking Xiaochu to come on stage. However, Xiaochu didn't hear any of this and continued drinking. A little girl next to him couldn't wait any longer and gently pulled him, "Uncle, it's your turn to go on stage." This time Xiaochu finally reacted. He looked at the little girl with a confused expression. Go on stage." The little girl pointed to the stage and reminded, "It's the day of music expression. You've been chosen. Go up and sing. Use music to express what you want to say but don't want to say." Xiaochu was still a little confused, and followed the little girl's finger and looked towards the stage. Their host raised the microphone in his hand and shouted, "Brother, come on up and sing your heart out loud. Whether you are sad, depressed, or angry, everyone will only scream for you tonight." Xiaochu shook his head and finally understood a little. Finally, amid everyone's cheers, he staggered onto the stage. "Brother, what song do you want to sing?" "Let the band accompany you," said the host. Xiaochu thought for a moment and said, "Can you give me a guitar so I can play it myself?" Their host laughed and said, "Of course, no problem, big brother from the band, give this guy a guitar." The guitar was delivered quickly. Xiaochu sat on a high stool, plucked the strings, and performed a simple solo. With the clear melody, the bar suddenly became quiet. Chapter 9, Meeting Xue Tingchan again. In the dim bar, the revolving lights flickered quietly. The crowd below the stage listened to the cool and quiet prelude and unconsciously quieted down, looking at the melancholy and depressed man on the stage. No one expected that he, who was obviously drunk and confused, could play such a melody. Xiaochu sat on a high stool, holding a guitar, and sang slowly. "I can't help but turn into a stubborn fish, swimming alone against the current. The oath I made sincerely when I was young, silently sinking in the deep sea. Revisit several times. The end is still losing you. I was sentenced to lifelong loneliness by love. Don't fight back. No defense. The circle that can never be completed. The unfilled bond in my heart. It's you. Why does love sentence all beings to loneliness? Can't break free. Can't escape. The knot that can't be untied. The unsolvable calamity of fate. It's you. R tilde losing you. R tilde I lost you." Xiaochu's singing style was dry, and it was obvious that he had never learned it. There were several flaws, but his voice was mellow and hoarse, which surprisingly had a unique charm. The main reason is that the melody of the song is beautiful and cold, with a hint of sadness, and the lyrics are even more gentle, straightforward and condensed, melancholy and free and easy, giving people a feeling of melancholy, helplessness, and having to let go, which goes straight into their heart. People can't help but follow the song, their hearts slowly tighten, tremble, and feel a dull pain, as if all the beautiful past had suddenly disappeared. People fell into the deep sea, and slowly couldn't breathe. The rotating lights continued to flicker, and Xiaochu continued to play the guitar and sing. However, people with sharp ears soon discovered that the melody of the second paragraph was obviously more uplifting than the first. Although the lyrics were basically the same, the feeling when Xiaochu sang it was also brighter, less melancholy and more detached. The last few lines of the lyrics are still, "The knot on the brow that can't be untied, the calamity in the fate that can't be solved, is you. I lost you, but in the end, there is gradually a feeling of neither sadness nor joy." When the song ended, Xiaochu walked out of the bar. It took a while for everyone to react. This brother is so handsome, he almost made me cry. When did he leave? I also think he's so handsome and sings beautifully. I wanted to record it, but I was so immersed in the song that I can't remember it. What a pity. TSK, I did record it, but I didn't realize it until later, so I only recorded the last part. Sister Jingjing, you are so great, send it to me. Please. Sister Jingjing, please be merciful and give me one. Can will definitely remember your kindness for the rest of his life. Don't be so pretentious, just treat me to a meal. Please, of course you should. Tell me, Sister Jingjing, do you want to eat at Park Hyatt or Shangri-La? Let's go now. Oh, our Can finally admitted that she is a small rich woman. As long as Sister Jingjing sends me a copy of the song, I will be whatever you say I am. In the bar box, a woman named Gao Jing and a little girl named Jin Can were having a funny moment, causing the other people in the box to cover their mouths and laugh. Not only this box, but the entire bar was still immersed in the atmosphere of the song just now, and everyone was deeply impressed by the man who left. After several minutes, the bar became lively again with the joint efforts of the host and DJ. After Xiaochu came out of the bar, he felt dizzy and had severe headaches, so he sat on a bench on the side of the road to rest. But after a while, I fell asleep unknowingly. More than an hour later, a BMW passed by on the opposite side of the road, and the woman in the back seat glanced over here inadvertently with a slightly strange look in her eyes. The car went forward a few meters, and she suddenly said, "Xiao Ari, stop for a moment." Although the driver Xiao Ari was puzzled, he still stopped the car and asked, "Sister Chan, what's wrong?" The two people in the car were Xia Tingchan and her assistant Xiao Ari. Xia Tingchan said calmly, "I want to go downstairs for a walk, you go back first." Xiao Ari was very surprised and blinked and said, "Sister Chan, do you want to go down for a walk and get some fresh air?" "I'll go with you." Xia Tingchan refused, "No, you go back first." Xiao Ari hesitated, "But it's late at night, you're alone." "It's only a little after 10 o'clock. There are people on the streets. There won't be any danger." Xiao Ari frowned, "But Sister Liu told me to follow you wherever I go. Last time you stayed out alone for a day and 2 nights, Sister Liu almost scolded me to death. If I lose you again this time, Sister Liu will." The round-faced girl didn't say the rest of the words, but her expression looked pitiful. Xia Tingchan smiled and comforted him, "It's okay. Sister Liu knows that I'm in a bad mood recently and I need to relax more. When we get back to the villa, tell her directly. She won't blame you." "Really?" Xiao Ari was a little skeptical. "Really?" Xia Tingchan nodded with certainty. In the end, Xiao Ari drove away alone, always feeling that something was not right with Sister Tingchan tonight. After watching the BMW drive away, Xia Tingchan, who was wearing a hat, big sunglasses, and a loose windbreaker and was not easily recognized, crossed the zebra crossing and walked across the street. On the bench, Xiaochu was sleeping soundly. Smelling the strong smell of alcohol on him, Xia Tingchan frowned. The next day, Xiaochu opened his eyes and felt that the sky was too bright and a little dazzling. He was thirsty and wanted to drink some water. When he stood up, he found a cup on the bedside table. Without thinking much, he picked it up and drank it. He rubbed his eyes, shook his head, stretched, got out of bed and walked out of the room to wash up, but out of the corner of his eye he unexpectedly discovered a figure on the balcony of the living room. He rubbed his eyes again and looked for several seconds before he was sure that there was indeed a figure there. "And it's the big star Xia Tingchan." He walked over and asked, "Why are you here again?" Xia Tingchan closed the book in her hand, took out the earplugs from her ears, and turned to look at him. "When did you come? How come I didn't know anything about it?" Xiaochu couldn't help but ask again. Xia Tingchan looked at him quietly, still without saying anything. Xiaochu felt uncomfortable being looked at, so he tapped his head and said to himself, "Oh, now I remember, I think I went to the bar last night and got drunk. Did you take me back?" The answer is correct. But Xia Tingchan still looked at him. Xiaochu was a little embarrassed and annoyed by being looked at, and asked, "What are you looking at?" Xia Tingchan said calmly, "Are you heartbroken?" Xiaochu was slightly startled, "How do you know?" "Xia Tingchan, you said that yourself last night." Xiaochu was stunned and blinked. She didn't expect that this was what she told her last night. Since she even said this, did it mean that she had said a lot of other drunken words, or did something stupid? He couldn't help but ask, what else did I say or do last night? Xia Tingchen thought for a moment and said, I cried. Impossible. Xiaochu waved his hand and refused to admit it. My mom said that every time I get drunk, I behave myself. I never make a big fuss and always go to bed and sleep. How could I cry? Xia Tingchen didn't dwell on this question anymore, and instead said, I thought someone like you wouldn't fall out of love. Xiaochu was stunned for a moment and asked, why? Xia Tingchen looked at him quietly without explaining. Xiaochu quickly understood what she meant. She meant that he had been trying to drive his girlfriend away a few days ago because he was afraid that she would misunderstand him, and now he ended up breaking up with her in the blink of an eye. It really didn't seem reasonable. He couldn't help but say awkwardly, when fate comes to an end, isn't it normal to break up? Just like when life ends, even the healthiest people will die. Xia Tingchen put down the book, stood up and said, I want to eat chicken wonton soup. Xiaochu didn't expect Xia Tingchen's thoughts to suddenly jump back to breakfast, but he still replied, where can I get you chicken soup so early in the morning? Xia Tingchen said, then mix the noodles, add poached eggs, and don't make it too greasy. After saying that, he went to the bathroom. Xiaochu was speechless. Last time he wanted to eat braised prawns, shredded pork with fish flavor, and grilled eggplant, and this time he wanted to eat chicken soup wontons and mixed rice noodles. Did he think his place was a restaurant? But considering that she sent him back last night, he still went to make noodles for her. Note, the song is called Silence, with lyrics by Yin Yu, music by Chen Lei, and originally sung by N.A. Ying. Chapter 10 Where is he? After finishing breakfast, Xia Tingchen went to the balcony to continue reading, obviously not planning to leave now. Xiaochu lay on the sofa and turned on the TV. As Xia Tingchen turned the page, he glanced at him and asked, aren't you going to work? Xiaochu replied, I've asked for leave. Xia Tingchen was stunned for a moment, then said, that's perfect. I ordered a piano online. It will be delivered this afternoon. You can help me move it then. Xiaochu looked at her in confusion, why did you buy a piano? I can't play it. Xia Tingchen said, give it to me. Xiaochu sat up suddenly and looked at her in astonishment, yourself? You don't want to live here for a long time, do you? Xia Tingchen lowered his head to read a book and replied calmly, I won't stay here for long, but I will come over when I'm in a bad mood. Xiaochu got off the sofa and walked up to her in slippers, this won't do. Xia Tingchen raised her head and said calmly, you've already broken up. What it means is that I don't have a girlfriend anymore, so I have no excuse to chase her away. Xiaochu was stunned for several seconds and then said sullenly, that won't work either. It will be bad for my reputation if a man and a woman stay in the same room alone. Xia Tingchen looked at him with bright eyes. Xiaochu pulled the corner of his mouth and changed his words, it's not good for you either. You are big singer. If people knew that you were living with a strange man, how could you continue to be an artist? Xia Tingchen said, then you should move out. Oh. Xiaochu was choked. She didn't expect that this was her solution. He immediately shook his head and said, how can this be possible? I have paid a year's rent for this house. I can return the money to you. That won't work either. Moving is too much trouble. Besides, I'm used to this environment and don't want to move. Then you move the piano. Xiaochu was speechless. From the tone of her voice, it seemed that she was going to stay here no matter what. Was she going to come here from time to time to relax and rest? How could there be such a shameless superstar? After thinking about the inconvenience of the two of them being in the same room for a long time, Xiaochu still insisted, Miss Xia, this is really not good. I'm a man and you're a woman, and you're so beautiful. What if right? Xia Tingchen suddenly asked, were you dumped? Huh. Xiaochu was stunned. So you have gynophobia, or PTSD from a broken heart. What is PTSD? Post-traumatic stress disorder after a breakup. Xiaochu was completely speechless. He finally discovered that when a woman is not willing to reason with you, it is really impossible to reason with her and communicate with her. In the afternoon, the piano was delivered as expected. Xiaochu still helped to install it in the study. Fortunately, there was basically nothing else in the study except his computer desk, so it was not too much of a problem. During this time, Xia Tingchen hid in the bedroom next door. Obviously, she was still a little worried that she would be seen and recognized by the delivery workers. After the workers left, Xia Tingchen tuned the instrument and played a song. It turned out that he played it really well. The melodious and lively melody made Xiao Chu, who had been busy for half a day, feel very happy and comfortable. No wonder they say her hands are for playing the piano, not for women. After dark, Xia Tingchan put on his hat and sunglasses again, wrapped himself in a windbreaker and left. We still went to the east gate of the nearby Ruanxi Park and asked Xiao Ari to drive over to pick us up. After Xia Tingchan got in the car, Xiao Ari looked aggrieved. It was obvious that she went back alone last night and was scolded by Liu Jie again. Starting next month, I'll give you a 10% salary increase. Xia Tingchan saw through it and offered compensation. When Xiao Ari heard about the salary increase, she smiled, but soon collapsed again, and said timidly, Sister Chan, you are like this now, and you still want to give me a salary, it's not good, right? Xia Tingchan smiled faintly and said, although my work has not been very smooth in the past 2 years, I still have money to increase your salary. Besides, it was the company that paid for it, not me paying for it myself. After hearing these words, little Ari Che felt relieved and a happy smile appeared on his face. All the grievances he had felt when being scolded by Sister Liu disappeared. Seeing Xiao Ari's innocent smile in the rearview mirror, Xia Tingchan felt inexplicably in a good mood and began to hum softly. After returning to the Bishui No. 3 Riverview Villa, Liu Jie looked at Xia Tingchan, who had disappeared for another day, with a sullen face. Xia Tingchan walked up to her, hugged her, and said with a smile, Sister Liu, I'm back. Seeing the smile on her face and remembering her frown when they parted yesterday, Liu Jie couldn't say the words she wanted to scold. After letting go, he stared at her suspiciously. Tingchan, tell me the truth, you left Xiaoai and disappeared again, are you secretly in love? Xia Tingchan blinked and replied, no, I was just feeling depressed, so I found a place to relax. Liu Jie stared at her, still somewhat suspicious. Xia Tingchan put the matter aside and walked over to the sofa. Liu Jie didn't notice anything, so she went over and sat down next to Xia Tingchan. She sighed and said with a worried look on her face, I've contacted various big-name music producers these past few days, but the results weren't very satisfactory. Those people either didn't have time, didn't have new songs, or simply couldn't get through on the phone. I don't know what happened. Xia Tingchan frowned. Liu Jie also realized that she had said the wrong thing. She was so frustrated and her morale was hit, so she quickly changed her words and said, but don't worry, Tingchan. There are still many producers that we haven't contacted yet. I will call them soon. I don't believe that we are willing to spend money and still can't buy good songs. No matter what, we must produce a new song before Zhu Maiyang releases hers. We must suppress her and not let her stand over us and show off her power. Zhu Maiyang used the company's senior management to snatch Xia Tingchan's award and poach her, and she even blatantly provoked her at the award ceremony. Xia Tingchan didn't care, but she, her agent, couldn't stand it. Now all the company's resources are invested in Zhu Maiyang, and Xia Tingchan has basically been relegated to the sidelines. But even if she has to rely on her own connections, Liu Jie will fight for Xia Tingchan's reputation. The master was humiliated and the servant died. Although she and Xia Tingchan were not in a master-servant relationship, as an agent, she also felt sorry for Xia Tingchan. Most importantly, she was disgusted by Zhu Meiyan's behavior. Relying on selling her body and using unspoken rules to get to the top, do you think you are worthy of suppressing Xia Tingchan? He. Just when Liu Jie was filled with indignation, her cell phone suddenly rang. I picked it up and saw that it was a call from my best friend Gao Jing. Jing Yahui, what's the matter with you calling so late at night? Liu Jie asked. Today is my birthday, have you forgotten? But I'm not angry. Golden Maple Leaf KTV, come quickly, you're the only one missing. A somewhat charming voice came from the other end of the phone. Liu Jie slapped her forehead. Because of the difficulty in contacting the music producer, she actually forgot about this matter. But she still pretended, I don't have time or mood. The other side threatened, if you don't come, you'll lose your 20-year friendship. After hanging up the phone, Liu Jie looked at Xia Tingchan. Xia Tingchan said, go ahead, it's good to relax. There's no need to rush about the song, and it can't be rushed. Liu Jie nodded, yes, I will try to come back early, and you should also go to bed early. 40 minutes later, Liu Jie arrived at the Golden Maple Leaf KTV. As soon as they entered the box, Gao Jing hugged her and asked curiously, what's wrong with Liu? You look so sad and even forgot my birthday. Liu Jie pushed her aside and sat down to drink. After a few drinks, and with Gao Jing persisting, she finally told her story of wanting to buy some good songs but being unable to find them anywhere. Gao Jing's eyes lit up when she heard this and she said, "Want to buy good songs? Just tell me earlier. I know where to get them." You know. Liu Jie's face was full of disbelief. Gao Jing smiled charmingly and said excitedly, "I heard a really good song last night. It almost made me cry. It's definitely a great song." The bar DJ also said that it was a new song and it would definitely be a big hit if it could be released. Liu Jie suddenly grabbed her with both hands. "Where is it? Where is the singer?" Chapter 11, Searching for Him. After calming down from the excitement, Liu Jie first listened to the song recorded by Gao Jing. The lyrics and melody were very clear, but because Gao Jing was in a private room at the time, a little far away, and the bar was dark, she couldn't see clearly. In the mobile phone video, one can only vaguely see a handsome man holding a guitar, with his head lowered, singing gloomily. After she finished listening, Gao Jing asked, "How is it? Although I only recorded the last part, it's really nice, right? And it's definitely a new song. I searched the internet for a long time but couldn't find it." Liu Jie narrowed her eyes slightly. Although she was not a singer but just an agent, she had been in the circle for a long time and had a strong ability to appreciate music through the influence of her surroundings. This is not only a good song, but also a high-quality song with the potential to become a big hit. More importantly, it matches Xie Tingchan's style very well. This song, sung by this man with amateur singing skills, is so catchy and has infected everyone in the bar. Wouldn't it be even more perfect if it was sung by Xie Tingchan's ethereal and clear voice? This is simply a golden song tailor-made for Xie Tingchan. The more Liu Jie thought about it, the brighter her eyes became. Suddenly, she grabbed Gao Jing and said, "Come on, take me to find this singer." She would buy the song no matter what the cost. With this song, not only will the popularity of that bitch Zhu Maiyang be overshadowed, but even Xie Tingchan's popularity, which has weakened and become silent in the past 2 years due to being neglected by the company, may be restored or even reach a higher level. A good singer can unleash tremendous energy as long as he has good songs. Xie Tingchan, who debuted with the gold medal in the popular group of the Youth Song Contest, has excellent singing skills and a good image, and is undoubtedly such a singer. Gao Jing didn't expect Liu Jie to be so excited. She was caught off guard and staggered, almost falling. After she stood firm, she said in a resentful tone, "Hey, today is my birthday. I finally got all my sisters together. You want me to accompany you to find the mysterious singer at this time? Is it necessary to be so anxious?" Liu Jie replied, "If you help me find that singer, I will give you the most grand birthday party ever in Shangri-La." As he said that, he dragged Gao Jing out of the KTV room, leaving the group of young ladies stunned. When they got in Liu Jie's Audi, Liu Jie fastened her seatbelt while saying, "Tell me, what's the singer's name? Where did you meet him? How can we find him?" Gao Jing fixed her hair and said, "Didn't I say in the box that I don't know him? It's just that I went to Suyi Bar with my girlfriends last night. The bar was holding an event and they picked him to sing on stage. But he did this and impressed everyone." Liu Jie asked, "Since you like this song so much and even recorded a video, have you ever thought about getting to know him and asking for his contact information?" Gao Jing curled her lips and said, "I did. By the time I realized what was happening, I had run out of the box and chased him to the door. I wanted to add him on WeChat, but guess what happened? What? This bastard didn't even look at me, he just pushed me away, causing me to sit on the small sofa by the door. When I got up, he was gone." The more Gao Jing talked, the angrier she got. She lifted her hair again, gestured at her S-shaped figure, and said angrily, "With my face, temperament, and curvy figure, I was actually pushed away by a man. This has never happened before, okay? Is this bastard blind? Or is he a gay?" Liu Jie glanced at her and said, "If that's the case, why do you still like him so much that you searched for his songs online?" Gao Jing smiled charmingly and said, "It's because he sings so beautifully and he's so handsome. Even if he's really gay, I can straighten him out." Liu Jie pursed her lips in disdain and started the car. Gao Jing also fastened her seatbelt and asked, "Liu Da Nyoer, we don't even know his name, where are we going to find him?" "Suyi Bar. If we meet, you can still recognize him, right?" "Of course he can be recognized. After all, it's rare to see such a handsome man. But would he really be at Suyi Bar?" Just now, a girl sent me a WeChat message saying that she was waiting for him at Suya, but she didn't see him. I have to go and have a look, just in case. Immediately, Liu Jie took Gao Jing to Suyi bar. Half an hour later, the two men came out of Suyi with empty hands. Gao Jing looked at Liu Jie. Girl Liu, where are we going next? Should we go back to Golden Maple Leaf to celebrate my birthday? Liu Jie shook her head. No, the next bar. Gao Jing was shocked. Just as she was about to slip away, she was pulled back by Liu Jie and taken to another bar 200 meters away. But again nothing was found. Then, a capable and dashing woman, pulling a tall and charming woman, shuttled through the night, going in and out of one bar after another. It was 5:30 in the morning, dawn, and the sky was gradually getting brighter. After coming out of another bar, Gao Jing leaned against the front of the Audi A6 and said weakly, Liu Da Noer, Liu Da Jie, Liu Jiu Nai, please let me go, I really can't take it anymore. I've never walked so many miles in one night in my life. Especially when I'm wearing high heels, my heels are going to break and my legs are going to break. Gao Jing saw Liu Jie just coming out of this bar and looking towards the next bar. She was very frightened and begged bitterly. She was holding one of her high-heeled shoes in one hand, with her bare feet on the ground, half paralyzed in the car, looking very ungraceful. But she couldn't care less, she was really scared. From 10:30 last night to 5:30 in the morning of the next day, a full 7 hours, she was dragged by Liu Jie to go to Bar Streets 1, Bar Streets 2, Bar Streets 3, they were all visited. That night, except for the time to drink water and go to the toilet, I spent the rest of the time walking and watching people. Can you imagine, a senior white-collar worker who has been spoiled since childhood, grew up to be beautiful and exquisite, and works in a foreign company, being dragged to look for a man all night, and she was dazzled by him, okay? Tonight is her birthday, why doesn't she go to the lively party and instead go find a stinky man? Yes, originally she had a good impression of Xiaochu, who had a hoarse and mellow voice, sang beautifully, and was handsome. But now, in her eyes, he was just a big pig's hoof. My great youth, wonderful birthday. Liu Jie looked at Gao Jing, who looked exhausted, with a trace of guilt in her eyes, and said, Fairy Jing, I'm sorry, but this person is really important to me, so, can you hold on a little longer? Gao Jing, do you want to continue? I at %. The crystal fairy couldn't help but swear and curse. But after she finished scolding him, seeing Liu Jie looking at her sadly, she couldn't help but sigh and said weakly, I owe you this in my previous life. Then she stood up, swung her high heels in her hands, and walked barefoot to the next bar. When Liu Jie saw it, she smiled gently and hurried to follow. Jing, I'll treat you to a feast after we find them. Roll. I'll also treat you to a spa to make you beautiful. Roll. Don't be so angry. How about I invite you to the Maldives? Haven't you always wanted to go there? I heard that this season is particularly beautiful. Roll. At 7 in the morning, when it was bright, all the bars were closed. Liu Jie sent Gao Jing back to her residence, and then returned to Bishui number 3, exhausted. Xia Tingchan had just gotten up early to exercise, and was a little surprised to see her just come back. Chapter 12, Ordinary Summer Listening to Cicadas. Looking at Liu Jie who had just returned from outside, Xia Tingchan blinked. Sister Liu, what are you doing? Liu Jie didn't expect to run into Xia Tingchan who got up early. She forced a smile, but it couldn't hide the tiredness between her eyebrows. She said, Tingchan, you should exercise first. I'm too sleepy. I'm going to sleep first and we'll talk when I wake up. Xia Tingchan nodded. Liu Jie made an apologetic expression, yawned, and went back to her room to sleep. Xia Tingchan looked at her tired back, frowned, and said nothing. He took his mat and went to the rooftop to practice yoga. It was past 11, almost 12 o'clock, when Liu Jie woke up. Although I'm still not very energetic, it's much better than when I just came back in the morning. Xia Tingchan is reading a book. Xiaoari calculated the time accurately and handed over the freshly heated milk. Oh. I'm really old and can't stay up late anymore. I feel like I'm half dead after just one night of sleep. Liu Jie couldn't help but sigh after taking a sip of milk. I did get more sleep, but I still felt dizzy and my head hurt a bit. Xia Tingchan put down the book and looked at her. Xiaoari said, Sister Liu, please wait a moment. I have already steamed the rice and cut the vegetables. I will stir fry them and they will be ready soon. I'll be fine after I eat and replenish my energy. With that, Xiao'er went into the kitchen. Although she is the youngest, she is the best cook among the three women. She is usually the one who cooks when the viller is not ordering takeout. After Xiao'er entered the kitchen, Xie Tingchan asked calmly, "Sister Liu, what were you busy with last night? It's been a long time since I saw you so busy all night." According to Liu Jie's usual style, after celebrating her sister's birthday last night, she would definitely come back and would not play outside all night. It must be something about work. Liu Jie finished her milk and rubbed her temples while replying, "It's about the song. Aren't those big-name music producers unable to be contacted for the time being? I was wondering if I could find the song from somewhere else. It just so happened that Crystal Fairy was in a bar the night before and heard a particularly nice song sung by a singer-songwriter. I thought about looking for it. If I find it, I will buy the song." Xie Tingchan raised his eyes. He didn't expect it to be like this. After a few seconds of pause, she asked, "So how did you find him? Did you go back to that bar and wait for him?" Liu Jie laughed at herself and said, "It's even more stupid than that. Not only did I go to Su Yi's bar, I also dragged Jing Yao Jing to visit several famous bar streets. In the end, not to mention the person, there was not even a shadow." Xie Tingchan was stunned. Looking at Liu Jie, who looked listless and had bags under her eyes, a warm feeling surged in his heart. "Sister Liu, you don't have to be like this. Even if you can't find a song, it doesn't matter. I can try to write one myself. Even if the quality is a little worse, it can still be sung." Hearing her words, Liu Jie waved her hand and said, "I am your manager. If your career is not going well and you don't have singing, it is my fault. Besides, this is not just for you. I can't swallow this anger myself. Just because you didn't agree to Chen Bulei's request, he would freeze you out and promote someone like Zhu Maiyang. That doesn't make sense. You are a natural-born singer with great talent and image. You are praised as a heavenly voice and a future diva. However, the company not only does not promote you, but suppresses you. This is a waste of talent. No matter what others think, I, Liu Jie, will never accept it." The more Liu Jie spoke, the angrier she became, but at the same time she became more determined to find a song for Xie Tingchan. She is from Dream Music, but Chen Bulei, the younger brother of the president of Dream Music and the company's vice president, has such a bad character that she can't stand it. A fat-faced man who looks like a boar. He has 7 or 8 mistresses and he even covered Xie Tingchan's beauty. Although this kind of thing is very common in the entertainment industry, it is not acceptable to Liu Jie. Xie Tingchan was disdainful of Chen Bulei and didn't bother to pay attention to him, so she firmly stood with Xie Tingchan. So what if the company suppresses and freezes it? She firmly believed that with Xie Tingchan's singing skills and conditions, she would sooner or later soar into the sky, making Chen Bulei, who was short-sighted and could only think with his lower body, feel frustrated and regretful, and finally bang his head against the wall. Xie Tingchan sat down next to Liu Jie, gently held her hand, and said with clear eyes, "Sister Liu, thank you." Liu Jie shook her head briskly and said, "Why are you so polite? If you become famous, I will earn more, right? Can this be considered a reason?" Xie Tingchan pursed his lips slightly and smiled faintly, not dwelling on it anymore. Soon, Xiao'er finished cooking the dishes and the three of them started eating. Although the mysterious singer has not been found yet and the future is still bleak, the atmosphere was relatively relaxed because of the exchange just now, and the meal was very delicious. After eating, Xie Tingchan and Liu Jie were responsible for cleaning up. Originally, Xiao'er wanted her to clean up, but Xie Tingchan and Liu Jie did not agree. She cooked, so there was no reason for her to clean up. They were all women, and a little sister at that, so they shouldn't bully her like that. So it became a routine that Xiao'er was only responsible for cooking, and the 2 older ones took care of the cleanup. But they were not asked to wash the dishes. There was a dishwasher. They just put the dishes in and wiped the table. While cleaning up, Xie Tingchan said, "Sister Liu, give Xiao'er a 10% pay raise." Liu Jie was a little surprised, but she didn't think much about it and replied directly, "Okay, I'll talk to the company's finance department. It's time to give Xiao'er a raise." Xie Tingchan asked, "Will there be any problems? Do you want me to come forward as well?" Liu Jie curled her lips slightly and said, "No need. You have transferred all the resources that originally belonged to you to that woman Zhu Maiyang. If you don't even agree to this small request, then you have no shame at all. If that's the case, then I don't care. I'm going to go find Mr. Chen. I don't believe that Mr. Chen would let Chen Bulei do whatever he wants and watch the company go bankrupt. Xiaoari, who was preparing to mop the floor, was very moved when she heard the conversation between Xia Tingchan and Liu Jie. Sister Chen really did what she said. Sister Liu also takes good care of herself. Although we are working together, we feel like a family. In the afternoon, Liu Jie took Xiaoari to the company and talked to the finance department about a salary increase. Xia Tingchan entered the karaoke room, ready to try to write a song himself. However, although she is a natural singer with strong singing skills and can handle almost all styles of songs, she doesn't have much feeling when it comes to writing songs. It's not that I can't write at all. Those who can sing can at least hum a few lines, but the melodies I wrote are really mediocre. I can't show it off and I can't satisfy myself. So after staying in the karaoke room for 2 hours, she drove away from Bishui number 3. 40 minutes later, the BMW 530 stopped in the community where Xiao Chu lived. Climb the stairs, unlock the door, and go in. Xiao Chu had nothing to do and was doing push-ups. Hearing the noise, he looked up at her and said, "You just left last night, why are you here again today?" "I'm in a bad mood." Xia Tingchan replied. This reason is so noble and just that it is impossible to refute it. Someone came, and Xiao Chu couldn't exercise on his own. He returned to his room, changed out of his sports vest, put on his home clothes, and then came out again and said to Xia Tingchan, "Would you like something to drink?" "I'll get it for you." "Water, thank you." Xiao Chu brought a bottle of mineral water, handed it to Xia Tingchan, and then sat down on the other side of the sofa. "Give me your cell phone," Xia Tingchan suddenly said. Xiao Chu was startled. Chapter 13 Living Together. "Bring your cell phone here." Looking at the dazed Xiao Chu, Xia Tingchan said it again. Xiao Chu finally reacted and asked, "Why do you want a phone?" Xia Tingchan looked at him quietly and said nothing more. Xiao Chu felt inexplicably uneasy when he saw her look, but he finally handed over the phone. It was strange that in his 2 lifetimes, he could never stand the bright and dark eyes of this woman. "Unlock." Xia Tingchan took the phone, took a look at it, and handed it back to Xiao Chu. Xiao Chu felt even more puzzled. He didn't know what this woman wanted to do, but he still unlocked the door obediently. Taking it again, Xia Tingchan took out his own cell phone and fiddled with it for a while. After a while, Xiao Chu heard his cell phone ringing. After waiting for a few more seconds, Xia Tingchan returned the phone to him. "Why are you logging into my WeChat?" Xiao Chu took the phone and said with some dissatisfaction. He heard the sound clearly. It came from his WeChat, but he had clearly logged out of WeChat before. I immediately opened WeChat and found a message from a stranger on the homepage. Xia Tingsakarder sound. "Is it you?" Xiao Chu glanced at Xia Tingchan, who had a blank expression on his face. Xiao Chu ignored her and opened the dialog box, and found that Xia Tingchan had sent him a transfer message. 30,000.00 rent plus food. 30,000. Xiao Chu looked at Xia Tingchan in surprise. The monthly rent for his house is 4,000, which is 48,000 a year. This woman asked for 30,000, which means that if 2 people share the house, each pays 24,000, and then at 6,000 for food. Is she really planning to stay here and still want him to provide her with food and accommodation? No, you can't say that food and accommodation are provided. People have to pay. However, Xiao Chu always felt something was weird. He originally rented this house in order to live with Lin Yu, otherwise he would not have spent so much money to rent such a large 3-bedroom apartment. But now Lin Yu has never come here for a day, and Xia Tingchan wants to move in and live with him or share the rent. No matter how I think about it, it seems wrong. Not to mention his relationship with Xia Tingchan, they are not even friends. He is a level 4 screenwriter for a video website and a marginal figure in the entertainment industry, while Xia Tingchan is a quasi first-tier superstar and a future queen. They live together. If this gets out. Xiao Chu was ready to refuse the money and not click it, but when he took a closer look, he found that the money had already been received. BAA. So Xia Tingchan logged into his WeChat just now, not just to add him, but also because she was afraid that he would refuse, so she directly collected the money for him. Xiao Chu was confused. Is the future queen so scheming? Miss Xia, this isn't a good idea, is it? Xiao Chu finally calmed down and stared at Xia Tingchan. After all, with our identities, and you're a big singer, it would have a bad impact on you if this were spread. Xia Tingchan continued to remain expressionless, ignoring Xiaochu's affectionate eyes. Hey, this woman! Xiaochu complained in his heart, and regardless of her reaction, he prepared to transfer the money back. What would happen if I really accepted the money? Doesn't that mean she can come and go as she pleases, and we have to serve her food and drinks? Does she really treat this as a hotel or a restaurant? Most importantly, he felt awkward. Their relationship had not reached this point. They were strangers a few days ago and didn't know each other, but now they are living together all of a sudden. This is not good. He transferred the 30,000 yuan back, but after confirming it, he found a red exclamation mark. He was blocked. As soon as the money is transferred, you block the person. This operation is too much, isn't it? Xiaochu looked at Xia Tingchan in astonishment. Xia Tingchan had a calm expression as he turned and walked towards the study room, as if nothing had happened. Hey, you're just leaving like that? Without giving me an explanation. Bang! The only response he received was the sound of the study door closing. Xiaochu's face was filled with black lines. The sound of piano came from the study. Xia Tingchan finished her dinner under Xiaochu's speechless gaze. After eating, she drove back. Xiaochu didn't care about her. He had taken 2 days off, which had already been used up. He would have to report to the company tomorrow and then join the crew to go to Hengqin to film. River God was urgently started. Although it was a bit rushed, everything went smoothly. We will arrive in Hengqin tomorrow and can shoot the prologue scene in the evening, which happens to be a night scene. Producer Zhu Qing arrived there as soon as the script was finalized, and everything was ready. As the only screenwriter, Xiaochu had to follow suit. However, the script had been approved by the director, producer, and company executives, so it basically did not need to be changed. The actors used are all artists under the company, and they don't have the energy to add more scenes for themselves. So actually, when it comes to the shooting stage, his job is relatively easy. He just has to help the director with the overall control. His real task is to wait for River God to go online. If it performs well in the first week and is not cancelled, he will have to quickly write the subsequent episodes. All filming must follow the script. At that time, he will be under tight tasks and have heavy responsibilities. He cannot delay for even a moment and will definitely be very busy without a moment's rest. This is also the reason why Zhang Songher gave him 2 days off before filming to allow him to adjust his condition. It's tiring, but it's also an opportunity. Xiaochu is ready. When Xia Tingchan returned to Bishui No. 3, Liu Jie and Xiao Ari had already returned. Although there were some twists and turns in giving Xiao Ari a raise, it was still successfully increased thanks to Liu Jie's outburst. After all, Xia Tingchan is still one of the company's cash cows. Chen Bulei doesn't dare to do anything too drastic and has to rely on Xia Tingchan to continue making money for the company. Sister Chan, thank you. Xiao Ari expressed her sincere gratitude. Xia Tingchan smiled and said, you should thank Sister Liu. She was the one who helped you get it. Sister Liu has already thanked me. Xiao Ari said with a slightly red face, anyway, thank you Sister Chan and Sister Liu. I will definitely work harder in the future. I will do whatever you ask me to do. Xia Tingchan and Liu Jie looked at each other, and each of them pinched Xiao Ari's little round face at the same time. This little girl is still so cute. After the commotion, Xia Tingchan looked at Liu Jie, Sister Liu, you didn't go to the bar today. During lunch, Liu Jie said that she would persevere and must find the mysterious creator. With Liu Jie's personality, she would definitely do what she was told, so Xia Tingchan was a little surprised to see her at home. Liu Jie stretched her waist somewhat dejectedly and said, I would like to go, but Crystal Fairy was exhausted last night and insisted that she must have a good rest and be in good spirits before she would accompany me to continue looking. There's nothing I can do. I can't persuade her. I can only wait until tomorrow night to continue. Leave this to me. Even if I have to turn every bar in the Magic City upside down, I will definitely find him. If he is really a great singer-songwriter, then if you find him, you won't have to worry about not having songs in the future. Xia Tingchan really didn't think that Liu Jie's method of looking for a needle in a haystack was useful, so she tried to persuade her at noon. However, she knew that Liu Jie was very determined, so she didn't say much. After changing into their home clothes, the 3 women sat on the sofa and watched the show together. Xiaoari was watching TV and browsing her phone at the same time. A smile appeared on her round face from time to time, and no one knew what she was talking about or with. Liu Jie was also watching TV while checking WeChat, probably contacting a music producer again. Xie Tingchan was holding a few bags of snacks, eating them while watching TV. After a while, seeing that Xiaoari and sister Liu were immersed in their phones, she thought about it, picked up her phone, opened WeChat, and sent a friend request to Xiaochu. On the other side, Xiaochu was already lying on the bed, ready to play with his mobile phone for a while and then go to sleep, so that he could have enough energy to start work tomorrow. When I heard the WeChat ring, I clicked it and saw it was a friend request from, and I couldn't help but smile. Blocked in the afternoon, added again in the evening, what a mess. But after thinking about it, he agreed. Otherwise, he didn't know what this woman would do next time they met. He was speechless about Xie Tingchan's personality, who appeared to be cool on the surface but was actually arrogant. After adding Xiaochu, I put it aside. I'm not in the mood to chat with her now. Xie Tingchan didn't chat either, but opened Xiaochu's circle of friends. Swipe down, and occasionally stop for 2 or 3 seconds on a post or a photo. Suddenly, her eyes focused on a post. Then he sent a message to Xiaochu. Listen to the cicada sounds in summer, can you write poetry? Chapter 14, So Sour. Can you write poetry? Seeing this sentence, Xiaochu was stunned. He didn't quite understand and typed to ask. Xiao Shizenlang, what do you mean? Xie Tingchan didn't say anything and just sent a screenshot. Xiaochu clicked it and understood what was going on. This is a screenshot of a post from his circle of friends. He was talking about a poem he had written before called Qingpingla. After the fragrance faded, the hourglass kept ticking all day, the clothes became looser and the person became thinner, the time when the osmanthus fragrance was in the air. The old pavilion longs for the colorful clothes, holding the cup to the setting sun 3 times, the moon lights up thousands of lanterns, but the water does not cross the pond. After reading it, Xiaochu replied without thinking much. Xiao Shizenlang, I wrote it for fun when I was in college, and it's a CI, not a poem. After more than 10 seconds, Xie Tingchan replied. Listen to the sound of cicadas in summer, their fangzong, nishine, and lingbo in the lyrics all refer to Lin Yu. After seeing this, Xiaochu thought about it and replied with one word. Xiao Shizenlang, yer. This time, Xiaochu waited for a long time, but did not see any new message from Xie Tingchan, so he ignored it and continued playing games. On the other side, in Bishue number 3. Xie Tingchan looked at Xiaochu's reply, but pursed her lips and uttered 2 words, so sour. What's so sour? Liu Jie heard Xie Tingchan's mumbling and asked curiously. Sour jujube. Xie Tingchan answered calmly, then opened a bag of cashews, grabbed one and put it in his mouth. However, Liu Jie looked at Xiaoari with suspicion in her eyes. He glanced again at the bags of snacks that Xie Tingchan was holding. Did we buy sour dates today? Xiaoari shook her head and said, no, I haven't bought any sour dates in the past few days. And I seem to have seen that what Sister Chan just ate was a pistachio. Then why did she mention sour jujube? Xiaoari shook her head again. After some eye contact, Liu Jie still didn't get an answer. On the contrary, I felt that Xie Tingchan's muttering just now had a somewhat sour tone. Like the taste of lemon. Early the next morning, Xiaochu took a taxi to their high-speed rail station, where he met up with the crew and then went to Hengqin City, Zhejiang Province. 3 hours later, Xiaochu arrived at the Hengqin film and television base and stayed in the hotel that the crew had booked in advance. At lunchtime, the crew had a big gathering, and Xiaochu met the director Lu Gaoxing and the producer Zhu Qing, who were there to pave the way. Xiao, the reason why River God can start filming so quickly is because of your super efficient writing speed. Come, I'll toast you a glass and wish our River God a good start and a big hit in the ratings. Lu Gaoxing held a wine glass and came to Xiaochu to toast him. Xiaochu quickly stood up, picked up the wine glass and said, Director Lu, I should toast you. You and Manager Zhang approved my script and gave me this opportunity, so I can sit here and work with you all. I toast to you and wish the filming of River God a great success and a huge hit in the ratings. Seeing Xiaochu being so humble, Lu Gaoxing put his arm around his shoulders, smiled and clinked glasses with him. Good boy, work hard, you will have a bright future. Thank you, Director Lu. After Lu Gaoxing left, Zhu Qing also came over and clinked glasses with Xiaochu, but he didn't say anything. He just patted Xiaochu on the shoulder, signaling him to relax a little and not be so restrained, as they were all family. It was Xiao Chu's first time to follow a crew and also his first time to attend a crew dinner. With so many assistant directors, producers, actors, production managers, photographers, art directors and other professionals present, he was a little uncomfortable. After the two big guys, Lu Gaoxing and Zhu Qing, came over to comfort him, he relaxed and completely integrated into the dinner party. Although he is just a newcomer, as a screenwriter, he is also one of the sole figures of the crew. Getting along with everyone will help the filming process. Sitting next to Xiao Chu was the production director. His surname was Wu, and his name was Wu Chengliang. He was in his 40s, and although he was not very famous in the industry, he was an old hand who had been working in this industry for more than 10 years. He also gently clinked glasses with Xiao Chu and said, "Teacher Xiao, I've read the script of River God. It's really well written. It will definitely perform well after it goes online. I didn't expect you to be so young. You are really talented and have great potential at such a young age. Come on, brother, let me toast you." Xiao Chu held the cup with both hands and said in return, "Don't dare to call me Teacher Xiao, Director Wu, you can just call me Xiao Xiao. If River God has any success, it will be the credit of everyone in the crew. I salute you all." Lu Gaoxing heard the conversation here and said cheerfully, "Xiao Xiao is really good at talking. Come on, let's do one together. Don't be polite. After having a good meal, we will work hard together to make sure that River God is shot in good quality and quantity. When it goes online and becomes extremely popular, I will give out red envelopes to everyone at the celebration party." Okay, Director Lu is very generous. Let's all do it, and then wait for Director Lu to give everyone red envelopes in 2 months. Everyone was very excited when they heard Lu Gaoxing say that he would give out red envelopes, and they clapped and cheered. The atmosphere of this dinner was very good and everyone was full of energy after the meal. At around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the crew set up an incense altar and held a start-up ceremony. At around 7 o'clock, after the night fell, the filming officially started for the first scene in the prologue. Ding Mao, the eldest son of the Ding family, was chased by a group of men in black. With no other options, he took the initiative to jump into a deep river. Then, under the water, he encountered a pale stone statue of a little man. He was frightened and wanted to escape, but was entangled by water plants. Just when Ding Mao was terrified, the little river god Guodio suddenly appeared, floating above and below him in the water, with their heads touching. The whole play has a cold and eerie atmosphere, full of mystery and suspense, which gives people a great impact and captures the audience at once. Because the actors had already practiced water scenes before coming to Hengqin, the entire filming process went smoothly and did not take too long. That night, in addition to this prologue scene, we also filmed other night scenes, and we were busy until after 3 in the morning before we finished work. It was Xiao Chu's first time watching a film crew filming, and he was very interested in everything on the scene. He watched with great fascination the placement and movement of the camera, the movements and performances of the actors, the lighting, the actions of the extras, and even the timing of the director's call of cut. So much so that when he finished work in the middle of the night, he didn't feel tired at all. Watching these details will be of great help to him in writing scripts in the future, without having to waste his brain cells imagining things out of thin air. After returning to their hotel, Xiao Chu washed up and prepared to go to bed. When he came out of the bathroom, he unexpectedly saw Wu Chengliang, the theater director who lived in the same room with him, calling his wife. Seeing Xiao Chu coming out, Director Wu made an apology gesture to Xiao Chu and said that he would hang up soon. Sure enough, less than a minute later, Director Wu hung up. "Director Wu, it's so late, do you still need to call my sister-in-law?" Xiao Chu asked curiously. Director Wu smiled and said, "Your sister-in-law is quite timid. If she doesn't answer my call, she won't be able to sleep all night. I'm sorry to have embarrassed you." Xiao Chu shook his head and didn't laugh, but he felt a little choked by being fed such a sudden wave of dog food. "You'll know when you get married." Director Wu saw Xiao Chu's expression, knew what he was thinking, and said with a smile. Xiao Chu blinked. Is it really that serious? They are an old couple, but they still show their affection so much. When he heard the word marriage, he couldn't help but think of Lin Yu, and his expression became a little gloomy. He shook his head, trying to brush it off. The image of Xue Tingchan inexplicably appeared in his mind, which made him stunned. He shook his head and wanted to dismiss it. But his hand couldn't help but pick up the phone, wanting to see if Xue Tingchan had sent him a WeChat message. Eventually, I forced myself to shut down. Go to bed early and get up early, because you have to get up early to work tomorrow. Chapter 15 11:11 and Mom. 3 days later, at around 9 o'clock in the evening, in the director's room, Lu Gaoxing and Xiao Chu were sitting in front of the computer, with a sample of River God playing on the screen. After 3 days of concerted efforts by the entire crew, the first 2 episodes of River God have been filmed. Lu Gaoxing nodded as he looked at the sample film, and his slightly tired face couldn't hide the smile. Xiao Xiao, you are the screenwriter, tell us what you think. Lu Gaoxing looked at Xiao Chu. Xiao Chu smiled and replied, not bad, basically all the effects I expected were captured. This was not a compliment or a perfunctory response, but a sincere statement from a heart. Although the project was a bit rushed, the results of the first 2 episodes were indeed good, and were not much different from the versions in Xiao Chu's memory of his previous life. The actor who plays the little river god, although his appearance is somewhat different from the original, is equally spiritual, and he portrays the little river god's cleverness and laziness, with a very Jianghu flavor. The actor who plays the second male lead, Master Ding, looks gentle and elegant, yet youthful and passionate, which fits the character very well. The heroine, the little witch, is the role that Xiao Chu is most satisfied with. She is basically carved from the same mold as the original and can be said to be a perfect restoration. Characters such as the old river god, the old witch, the old housekeeper, and the detective who speaks in Tianjin dialect are also vivid and unique. As long as the main characters of the play, River God, are well established and the atmosphere of suspense and mystery is created, it won't be far from perfect. Or in other words, it has been successful. Xiao Chu gave the first 2 episodes 90 points. Hearing Xiao Chu's words, Lu Gaoxing laughed. In fact, he was also very satisfied with the first 2 episodes. The higher-ups were in a hurry and the progress was pushed forward very quickly, but the result was unexpectedly good. Even an experienced director who has been shooting for decades couldn't help but feel a little proud of the result. Xiao Xiao, you can continue writing the rest of the play. I'm sure this play will be a big hit, but it will definitely not be cut short. You can write the remaining 16 episodes with peace of mind, so that when you continue filming later, you don't have to rush so much. Lu Gaoxing said to Xiao Chu with a smile. The first 2 episodes were very successful, which put him in a good mood. He has already begun to imagine the scenario where after River God is released, the clicks will soar and trigger a viewing craze. Xiao Chu nodded, then stood up and said, I will. Director Lu, I'll be leaving first. You should rest early and get enough energy so that you can continue working tomorrow. Well, go ahead, have a good rest, and try to start writing the next scene as soon as possible. I can't sleep right now, I have to finish the script for tomorrow's shooting. After coming out of Director Lu's room, Xiao Chu returned to his own room. Director Wu is not here. I don't know if he is busy with something or out making a phone call. Seeing that it was still early, Xiao Chu left the hotel and took a walk. It is now the end of August and not yet September, and the weather in Hengqin is still quite hot and dry. It is only cool and windy at night. The area around Hengqin Film and Television Base is very lively at this point. Many crews are having dinner parties, socializing, or even filming. Extras and group leaders are even more busy. They are either waiting for their scenes or helping the assistant director find people. Some are drinking and eating skewers at food stalls and roadside stands. It is a very noisy scene. Xiao Chu walked slowly alone, the plot and scenes he was going to write tomorrow flashed through his mind, and he was in a very good mood. Suddenly, his cell phone rang. I took it out and saw that it was a call from home. Hello, 1111. Xiao Chu answered the phone. After several seconds, a timid voice came from the other end, brother, it's me. Xiao Chu asked gently, have you eaten? Why did you suddenly think of calling me? Yeah, I ate. I wanted to call my brother because. Why? Because I. The timid voice on the other side was so soft that Xiao Chu couldn't hear it clearly even if he tried hard to listen. This made him raise his eyebrows. Just as I was about to ask again, a middle-aged woman's voice suddenly came from the other end of the phone. 1111 passed the 10th level piano exam today. I wanted to tell you the good news, but this girl is too embarrassed to say it. This middle-aged woman was Xiao Chu's mother, Wang Cuixian. Apparently, she saw 1111 hesitating, so she spoke for her. Xiao Chu smiled and said, this is a happy event, why would you be embarrassed to talk about it? Wang Suixiang said, Teacher 1111 said that she has great talent for playing piano and can try to pursue a career in piano, so I wanted to ask for your opinion. 1111 might be afraid that studying piano as a major would cost too much money, so she doesn't want to tell you. Xiaochu said without hesitation, since 1111 has this talent, then of course I will strongly support her. As for the money, tell her not to worry. I'm working and earning money now, and our family can definitely afford it. As long as she likes it. Wang Suixiang replied, That's what I told her, but you know 1111's personality. It's useless for me to say it. You have to do it. Xiaochu smiled and said, Then give the phone to 1111 and I will talk to her. Okay. But wait a minute, I remembered something I want to ask you. Xiaochu was a little surprised and replied, You say? Wang Suixiang asked, Didn't you say last time that you wanted to get engaged to your girlfriend by the end of the year? Has her family agreed? Can we meet sometime and sit down to discuss it in detail? Xiaochu was slightly surprised. He didn't expect that his mother would talk about this. He bit his lip and said, Mom, we have already. Xiaochu, I know you young people don't want to be bound by marriage so early and want to have more fun for a few more years. Mom doesn't want to force you, but my body is getting weaker every year, and I don't know when I will leave. I'm afraid that if you get married too late, and I'm gone, there will be no one to take care of your children. Wang Suixiang said in a weak voice. Mom, don't worry, they've agreed, and will be engaged by the end of the year. Hearing his mother's earnest words, Xiaochu couldn't bear to disappoint her, so he didn't tell her that he had broken up with his girlfriend. In order to support his schooling, his parents opened an orchard and planted dozens of acres of navel oranges. The money for contracting the forest land and buying the fruit seedlings was all borrowed. In order to pay off their debts and support their 2 children, the couple worked day and night. Xiaochu's father, Xiao Dongshan, was fine as he had served in the army and was in good health. But my mother couldn't do it. She was exhausted. She had a serious illness a few years ago and was hospitalized for more than a month. I haven't been fully recovered since I was discharged from the hospital and my body is still weak. In order to reduce the burden on his family, Xiaochu applied for a student loan when he was in college, and he also worked part-time to earn money for his studies. This is how it is in rural families. They don't feel that life is that hard, but they become sensible early on. This is also why 1111 was afraid that studying piano would cost too much money. Xiaochu didn't want his mother to have too many negative emotions, so he smiled and said, Mom, don't think too much. You are in good health. You still have at least 40 years of good life. Don't worry, I will bring you a daughter-in-law by the end of the year. The pretty kind. After hearing what he said, Wang Suixiang's mood improved a lot. She said angrily, You only know how to talk nonsense. Since you said it so nicely, why didn't you bring the person back earlier? You didn't even tell me her name. You said you'd be engaged by the end of the year. Your dad and I don't even know her surname or name. How are we going to get along when we meet? Xiaochu smiled and said, Mom, let's talk about this later. Just think of it as a surprise for you and my dad. Give the phone to 1111. I'll talk to her for a while. Okay, wait a moment. Mom handed the phone to 1111. Xiaochu on the other end of the phone smiled. Fortunately, he didn't mention Lin Yu's name when he mentioned the engagement, otherwise it would be difficult to make it right now. It is impossible for him and Lin Yu to be together. In order not to disappoint his mother, he can only think of a solution later. It is not easy and a headache to deceive a shrewd mother. Just then, a familiar timid voice came from the phone again. Elder brother. Chapter 16 Kitten. Listening to the gentle voice from the other side, Xiaochu felt soft in his heart. Suddenly he said, 1111, wait a moment, let's video chat on WeChat. After hearing the answer, Xiaochu hung up the phone and ran back quickly. A few minutes later, he ran back to the hotel and entered his room. Director Wu was still not there, so he logged into WeChat, clicked on 1111's profile picture, and started a video chat. After a while, the video was connected. A little girl appeared in the video frame. It was Xiaochu's sister, Ju 1111. 1111 is only 12 years old this year. When Xiaochu first saw her 7 years ago, she was thin, timid, silent, and squatting on the ground, like a stray kitten. Now 7 years have passed. I have grown a lot, but I am still thin and timid, like a kitten. But her eyes are clearer than before, and she looks more pretty and charming. Brother. 1111 also saw Xiaochu and called out softly. Xiaochu smiled and looked at the little girl in the video carefully. Well, after not seeing you for a month, 1111 has grown a lot and is more beautiful. Hearing Xiaochu's praise, 1111 blinked and said nothing, but her eyes became obviously brighter, revealing her little mood. Brother, I miss you. After a while, 1111 said softly. Xiaochu Wenshu said, I miss 1111 and my parents, too. I should have called you a long time ago, but I was a little busy these days, so I didn't have time for it for the time being. Yeah, I know. 1111 nodded slightly. Seeing her well-behaved and sensible appearance, Xiaochu felt even more tender-hearted and smiled. 1111, I heard from Mom that you passed the 10th level piano exam today. The teacher also praised you for your talent and said you can pursue a professional career. 1111 was stunned for a few seconds, but still nodded, yeah. Xiaochu said, then tell your brother honestly whether you want to learn or not. Don't tell lies. 1111 blinked her long eyelashes. Seeing Xiaochu looking at her clearly, she didn't want to hide anything and replied, yes. Xiaochu snapped his fingers and said loudly, then learn. Don't worry about the money, I'm here for you. Not only have I signed with a big company, but I have also just written a play that is being filmed. Not only will I get a lot of royalties, but I will also get a large bonus after it goes online. So you don't have to worry too much about the cost of piano lessons. Just practice and study hard, and I'll support you. 1111 pursed her lips and nodded. Xiaochu was not satisfied and said with a smile, it's not good for a little girl to keep a sullen face all day. Come on, smile for me. 1111 blinked her eyelashes and looked at him with flickering eyes. Xiaochu insisted. Elder brother. Xiaochu didn't care and said with a straight face, hurry up and smile, or I'll be angry. My sister is disobedient and I have no dignity as a brother. 1111 wrinkled her face slightly, obviously not expecting her brother to act like a robe. However, looking at Xiaochu's expectant eyes, she relaxed her brows and smiled. The smile was light, but very beautiful, like a water lotus that had been holding its stamens for a long time and then suddenly blossomed, soft and delicate. That's right. You should smile more in the future. My cat is the cutest and most beautiful. After succeeding, Xiaochu grinned. 1111 glared at her brother sadly, but the corners of her mouth unconsciously curled up slightly and a smile flowed out. The brother and sister chatted for a while before ending the video. After exiting WeChat, Xiaochu logged into the ICBC app and transferred the 30,000 yuan given by Xia Tingchan plus his own 10,000 yuan, a total of 40,000 yuan, to his mother, and left a message stating that it was for 1111's piano tuition. As soon as I received the text message confirming the successful transfer, I received a call from my mother. Ask him where he got so much money and whether it is enough for him to spend. Xiaochu said that of course he had enough to spend, and lied to her that the 40,000 yuan was the royalties from the company, so she didn't have to worry and could just spend it with confidence, and he would supervise and encourage 1111 to practice the piano. Since she has talent and likes it, I will fully support her. Mom told Xiaochu that since he was alone in Shanghai, he must take good care of himself and not be reluctant to spend money. Our family is not short of money now. The navel oranges are growing very well this year and we will be able to have a large harvest. In November, when the navel oranges are picked, I will send him a few boxes so that he can give them to his leaders and teachers, and also eat them himself. After hanging up the phone, Xiaochu smiled. Although his mother was used to nagging, she felt good after listening to her. Suddenly, he remembered that he had made 2 phone calls, but it seemed that he had not yet asked about his father's condition and had ignored them both. Thinking that my mother might have gone to talk to 1111, I shook my head again. Next time I'll just call Dad directly. After hanging up the phone, it was already past 10 o'clock and Director Wu had not returned yet. Lying in bed unable to sleep, Xiaochu simply logged into WeChat again and sent a message to Xia Tingchan. Xiao Shizilang, thank you. After a few seconds, Xia Tingchan replied. Listen to the cicada sounds in summer, what are you thanking for? Xiao Shizilang, thank you, let us talk about it later. Xiaochu originally wanted to thank Xia Tingchan for the 30,000 yuan, but then he thought about how he had refused to accept it before. If Xia Tingchan hadn't anticipated it and blocked him, he would have transferred it back to her long ago. Now he accepted it again and came to thank me. No matter how I think about it, it doesn't make sense. Forget it. I'm taking money to help others get rid of their misfortunes. I'm grateful for what I've received. Since I've accepted the money, she can move in whenever she wants. I'll just be the sub-landlord and share the rent with her. On the other side, Xia Tingchan saw that Xiaochu was hesitant to speak, and responded with a pouting expression. Just as I replied, Liu Jie came knocking on the door. Ting-chan, I'm going to go to the bar with Jing Yao Jing tonight. You and Xiaoari should stay at home. Don't run around so late at night. Apparently, Liu Jie was worried about Xia Tingchan's 2 previous nights at unknown places, and was afraid that she would run away again when she was not at home. Xia Tingchan nodded. Sister Liu, you go ahead, I'll write songs at home. She knew that Xiaochu had gone to Hengqin to film, and since he wasn't in a bad mood, there was no need for him to go out. When Liu Jie heard her say this, she was still a little worried and reminded Xiaoari in the living room several times. If a singer often spends the night outside, it will have a bad impact if news gets out, so his assistants have to keep a close eye on him. Xiaoari nodded quickly, indicating that she would keep a close eye on Sister Chan and not let her go out. Only then did Liu Jie leave with satisfaction. She had to continue looking for that mysterious singer-songwriter. Chen Bulei suppressed her vigorously and forced Xia Tingchan to bow her head. She could not contact other music producers, so she could only pin her hopes on this mysterious creator. I hope I'll have good luck and meet him tonight. More than 10 days later, the filming of River God went smoothly, and the last episode of the first phase, that is, the 8th episode, also reached the final stage. After filming this episode and sending it back to the Shanghai base for post-production, it can be sent to the video website for testing. If the performance is good, we will continue to shoot subsequent episodes according to the normal structure. If the response is not good, the series will be cut short and only 4 more episodes will be filmed to wrap it up. The project has come to this stage, and everyone is very busy and excited. Xiaochu was no exception. He threw himself into the creation of the crew, just waiting for it to be successfully completed and then the new play would be launched. Chapter 17 finally found you. In the late night, the last scene of the 8th episode of River God was successfully filmed. Director Lu called for the end of the work, and everyone sat down on the ground. It has been exactly half a month since we started shooting the prologue scene. During these 15 days, everyone worked non-stop and finally finished filming the first 8 episodes of the first phase. The mission was accomplished and everyone was exhausted. Even someone like Xiaochu, who just watched the show, was exhausted after experiencing such a high-intensity half-month. Not only physically, but also mentally. Because the task is heavy, there is no time to make mistakes, so every step and every detail must be perfect and accurate in order to complete 8 episodes in such a short time. The average filming time for each episode is less than 2 days, which is simply a miracle. But there is no other way. The people in the crew are not famous, their time is the least valuable, and the investment is small, so they can only work so hard. If the performance is good after completing their work and going online, everyone will be proud and your value will increase. If the performance is not good, you will have to continue working hard, there is no other choice. Lu Gaoxing clapped his hands and said, everyone has worked hard. Actors, production managers, directors, etc., let's go have a meal and relax under the leadership of Deputy Director Zhang. I'm sorry to say to the comrade in charge of post-production. You have to rush back to Shanghai with me overnight and send the film back for post-production. After it goes online and the results are off the charts, I'll treat everyone to dinner, singing and a bath. Okay. Director Lu, take care. Everyone clapped and cheered sparsely and weakly. They were really tired. Lu Gaoxing didn't care. He led his post-production comrades, took all the samples, and rushed to their high-speed railway station. Xiaochu also followed. He had nothing to do with post-production editing and production, but as a screenwriter, manager Zhang specifically asked him to go back with them so that they could review the editing together after it was done. Zhang Songher still respects him as the main creative staff member. About 4 hours later, Xiaochu and his group rushed back to Mo City from Hengqin, and even had dinner on a high-speed train. When we walked out of the station, it was already past midnight. Xiaochu went straight home to sleep. Lu Gaoxing and his colleagues took the sample film to the company, where manager Zhang was already waiting with a group of post-production staff, ready to work overnight. Xiaochu ignored them. After going back to wash up, he climbed onto the bed and fell asleep. I slept until noon the next day. I woke up only when I heard my master's wife Yi Huan knocking on the door. Xiao Chu put on his clothes, opened the door sleepily, and asked, "Master's wife, why are you here?" The teacher's wife said, "Your teacher heard that you had been working non-stop for more than half a month, and you rushed back overnight last night. She was afraid that you were tired, so she asked me to make you a bowl of chicken soup to nourish you. Looking at you like this, you really look exhausted." Xiao Chu quickly invited the master's wife in and said, "Thank you, teacher and master's wife. Actually, I'm fine. I just don't sleep enough. I just need to sleep a little longer. Thank you for your hard work, master's wife. Why is it so hard for me to make a bowl of chicken soup? But you, young man, should stop thinking about sleeping all the time. After drinking the chicken soup and eating, go out for a walk and exercise more, and you will recover faster." As the master's wife spoke, she walked towards the kitchen and poured out the chicken soup. Knowing that he must not have had time to cook, I brought rice and other dishes from home and let him eat them directly from the lunchbox while they were hot. Xiao Chu was very touched. Although he is not a son, the teacher and his wife treat him better than a son and have taken good care of him over the years. He thanked her again and quickly ran to brush his teeth and wash his face. While he was eating, his master's wife cleaned up the room for him. Seeing the piano in the study, he asked curiously. Xiao Chu didn't dare to say it belonged to Xie Tingchan. He just said it belonged to a friend of his who went abroad and had no place to put the piano, so he put it here first. The master's wife didn't think much about it. After he finished eating, his mistress left with the lunchbox. Xiao Chu accompanied her all the way to the gate of the community. After bidding farewell to his master's wife, Xiao Chu slowly walked back to the rental house. The weather is nice and sunny today, and the company has given him another day off. He plans to listen to his master's wife and not stay at home, but go out and do some exercise. Half an hour later, Xiao Chu changed into sportswear, got on his old mountain bike, and went out for a ride. With the breeze blowing and the warm sunshine shining, Xiao Chu suddenly had a feeling that time was peaceful and quiet as he watched the people coming and going and the traffic on the street. I couldn't help but pedal faster. When passing an intersection, the red light was a little long, so Xiao Chu stopped. On the other side of the intersection, there was a BMW Mini, also waiting for the traffic light. The driver was a beautiful and charming woman, Gao Jing. Gao Jing was looking in the mirror and touching up her lipstick. When she put the lipstick back into the jewelry box, she glanced and unexpectedly saw Xiao Chu on the other side out of the corner of her eye. I couldn't help but exclaimed, "Wow, this guy is so handsome and stylish." Just after he finished speaking, he blinked and a look of suspicion appeared on his face. "Hey, why does this handsome guy look so familiar? He looks like the handsome singer who sang at Suyi that night." He then picked up his phone and found the video recorded that night. After comparing, it was indeed him. "Hey, handsome guy," Gao Jing rolled down the window and shouted. But Xiao Chu didn't hear it at all. Moreover, at this time, the traffic light in Xiao Chu's direction turned green. He pedaled his mountain bike and floated away. Gao Jing was extremely anxious, but it was of no use. She wanted to go to Xiao Chu's road, which meant turning left, and the left turn light was still red. After dozens of seconds, the left turn light finally turned green, but Xiao Chu had already walked away. "I finally got to see you, how can I let you slip away in front of me like that?" Gao Jing muttered. Then, as soon as the traffic turned left and green, he started the car and quickly chased after the car without caring whether he was speeding or not. More than 10 minutes later, Gao Jing finally caught up with Xiao Chu, honked the horn and signaled him to pull over. When Xiao Chu heard the horn, he looked back and saw a BMW Mini rushing towards him. He was startled and quickly moved aside. Just as he was about to condemn this uncivilized behavior, Gao Jing stopped the car, ran out quickly, and grabbed him with both hands. "Hey, what are you doing?" Xiao Chu was startled again. "What's wrong with this woman? She's making moves in the street. Is she mentally ill?" Gao Jing held his arm tightly, but showed a happy smile. "Handsome guy, I finally found you. Fortunately, I didn't give up." Xiao Chu had a question mark face. "Miss, what's going on with you?" Xiao Chu asked. Gao Jing shook her head. "Don't call me miss." You. Have you ever sung in Suyi?" Gao Jing interrupted. Xiao Chu didn't quite understand. Gao Jing didn't waste any time and directly took out the video. "Look, the person singing with the guitar on the stage, is that you?" Xiaochu took a closer look and found that the person in the video was indeed himself. I also recalled that on that night when I was drunk, I did sing a song in a bar in a daze. But he just found that bar randomly, so he didn't know it was called Suyi. Is that you? Yes. Xiaochu admitted honestly. When Jiao Jing heard him admit it, she quickly hugged his arms tightly, fearing that he would leave. Xiaochu felt a little uncomfortable having such close contact with a strange woman. He pulled it quietly and wanted to take it out. But Jiao Jing didn't let him succeed, instead she hugged him even tighter. She glanced at him again and saw his cheeks were slightly red. She looked at the place where they were in close contact and finally understood. After smiling charmingly, she rolled her eyes at him and said, "I'm so beautiful, and you're not willing to rub against me." Xiaochu's face was hot, but he remained calm and said, "It's not a question of beauty or not, it's mainly about being uncivilized." Poochie. Hearing Xiaochu's serious words, Jiao Jing couldn't help but burst into laughter, leaning forward and backward like a goblin. Crystal Fairy. Chapter 18 Is This Fate? Jiao Jing laughed freely, her body shaking with joy. Xiaochu frowned. It's not nice and comfortable to be hugged so tightly by a strange woman on the street. Madam, why don't you let go first and talk to the side? Your car is blocking the road. Xiaochu couldn't stand it anymore and reminded her. Jiao Jing finally stopped laughing and let go of his arm. Seeing Xiaochu's dark face, he said with a smile, "I was just teasing you, and you got upset. Look at the dark circles under my eyes that have been there for more than 10 days. It's all your fault. I haven't blamed you yet. You are so petty." Xiaochu couldn't understand what she was saying. Jiao Jing smiled charmingly and tapped him lightly with her finger. "I'll explain it to you in a moment. After you hear it, you'll know how sorry I am for you. I'll move the car first, it will be done soon, don't leave." Jiao Jing then moved the car and parked it on the roadside to avoid affecting traffic. Xiaochu didn't want to keep doing this, so he moved his mountain bike to the sidewalk and waited for the other party's explanation. A few minutes later, the two stood under the shade of a tree by the roadside. Jiao Jing raised her head and drank half a bottle of mineral water. Seeing that Xiaochu hadn't spoken, she gave him a coquettish look and said, "Since you are so wary of me, I'll make it clear first. The story begins on a Monday night more than 10 days ago. That night, I went to Suya Bar with a few girls and happened to see an event at the bar. I thought the music expression day was boring, but I didn't expect that the third person chosen to go on stage was a handsome guy. After he went on stage, he held his guitar and sang a really nice song in a very handsome way. That song just happened to stir my girlish heart, which had been dormant for many years, so I took out my phone and recorded a clip. Do you know what happened next?" Jiao Jing looked at Xiaochu with shining eyes. Xiaochu shook his head and motioned for her to continue. Jiao Jing curled her lips in boredom. Then she spoke faster and without emotion. "Then a close friend of mine, who works as a manager in a music company, was looking for new songs all over the world, so I showed her this video. I went crazy as soon as I saw her, and she insisted on dragging me to find the mysterious singer. But how could I know where that snotty singer was, so she dragged me to look for him at bar after bar, starting from Suyi Bar. We went to dozens of bars that night, from dusk till dawn, and my white and tender calves were swollen from walking. That shameless guy still didn't let me go and forced me to continue looking the next day. In the past 10 days, I accompanied her to search for 9 nights, and searched all the bars and nightclubs in the Magic City. In the end, I didn't find any hair, but only 2 giant panda eyes that were darker than black. Even the thickest smoky makeup couldn't cover them up. Do you think that stinking singer owes me something?" After Jiao Jing finished speaking, she glared at Xiaochu resentfully. Xiaochu looked up at the sky. Jiao Jing hit him lightly and asked him to admit his mistake. Xiaochu continued to turn a deaf ear to him and said, "What does your search for the mysterious singer have to do with me, Xiao?" "Hey, you." Xiaochu's pretending to be stupid made Jiao Jing laugh. She didn't expect that someone who was so handsome and looked like a good person could actually act like a rogue. After she calmed down, she took out the recorded video again and confronted Xiaochu. "Open your eyes and look, is that you, the big pig's hoof in here?" Xiaochu skipped this question and asked, "Why are you looking for him? Still don't admit it." Jiao Jing glared at him angrily, but there was nothing she could do. She could only give up for the time being. She said, "Girl, Liu wants to buy this song. As long as you agree, the price is negotiable." By songs? Xiao Chu raised his eyebrows, very surprised. He really never thought about other people buying his songs, because he couldn't write songs, didn't know how to compose music, and even if he sang, it was only at the amateur KTV level. This is different from writing scripts. He studied drama literature in college and is a professional in playwriting. Gao Jing was a little puzzled by his reaction and asked, "Any questions?" "My sister is really sincere. If you have any conditions, you can put them forward. It's not a question of sincerity, but..." Xiao Chu didn't say the rest of the sentence. He couldn't tell Gao Jing that the song he sang in the bar was a song he heard in another world. It was no problem for him to sing it, but he was at a loss as to what to write. He really doesn't know how to compose music. If he could transcribe music, why would he bother writing music so hard? Wouldn't it be easier and more enjoyable to write songs instead, and earn more money? There aren't so many golden fingers in life. Gao Jing looked at Xiao Chu suspiciously, not understanding what was going on with him. Suddenly, her beautiful eyes turned and she said, "I don't care what your situation is. Let Liu talk to you herself. I will help her find you, and my mission will be accomplished." Then she grabbed Xiao Chu's sleeve with one hand to prevent him from leaving, and opened the address book with the other hand and called Liu Jie. It got through very quickly. When Liu Jie heard that Gao Jing had found Xiao Chu, she was overjoyed and shouted, "Fairy Jing, you must keep him. I'll come right over. 20 minutes, wait for me." After hanging up the phone, Gao Jing raised her phone and said to Xiao Chu, "You heard it too, my sister will be here soon. Let's go, let's find a cafe and sit down. I'll treat you." Xiao Chu thought about it and nodded. Soon, in less than 20 minutes, 18 minutes and 45 seconds, Liu Jie appeared in the coffee shop. After sitting down, she was still breathing heavily, her pretty face was slightly red, and beads of sweat were sticking to her smooth forehead, obviously she had just run fast. "Girl Liu, how far are you from? Why are you in such a hurry?" Gao Jing felt distressed when he saw her like this and couldn't help asking. Liu Jie took out a wet towel and wiped the sweat off her forehead, making herself look more elegant and calm, before replying, "I was just attending an event at the World Trade Center." World Trade Center. My God, it takes at least 27 or 28 minutes to get here from there. How did you get here in such a short time? Gao Jing exclaimed. Liu Jie smiled calmly and said, "None of this is important. Let's get down to business." She turned to Xiao Chu, extended her hand, and said with a smile, "Mr. Xiao, right? Hello, my name is Liu Jie, and I'm a senior manager at Dream Music. Nice to meet you." Xiao Chu also extended his hand, "Nice to meet you, Ms. Liu." Seeing Xiao Chu's attitude, Liu Jie was delighted, but she looked calm on the surface. She said, "Mr. Xiao, I think Jingjing has already told you the reason why I came to see you. I want to buy the song you sang at Suyi Bar that night." "Excuse me, is that song your original creation? Do you own all the copyrights?" "I guess so." Xiao Chu replied. "Is it?" These words made Liu Jie a little confused. She looked at Gao Jing, who shook her head, not understanding what was going on. Seeing the two women's reactions, Xiao Chu smiled and said, "It's mine. I have all the copyrights." The copyright of this song, of course, does not belong to Xiao Chu, but to the original composer and singer in the previous life. However, in this world, if he wants to officially publish it, he can only shamelessly say that it is his. Anyway, copying River God is copying songs is copying, so there is no need to worry about having too much debt. As long as you know what's going on, don't act like a big shot everywhere. Be grateful and keep a low profile. Liu Jie was a little worried by his behavior and asked cautiously, "Mr. Xiao, are you sure?" Xiao Chu smiled cheerfully and said, "Yes, if you are worried, after we have settled the matter, we can add an agreement. If there is any problem with the copyright of the song, I will be fully responsible." "Okay, I believe you." Seeing Xiao Chu so confident, Liu Jie chose to believe him. After taking a sip of water to moisten her throat, Liu Jie said, "Mr. Xiao, if that's the case, how much do you plan to pay for this song?" Xiao Chu thought for a few seconds and said, "Ms. Liu, may I ask who the singer is that you brought with you? Or who are you going to sing this song for after you bought it?" Liu Jie was stunned for a moment and said, "Does it matter who I sing for?" Xiao Chu said, "It's not that there is any difference, but I want to see if we can cooperate and in what way. After all, he can't write songs, so if he really wants to compose a song, he needs the help of a singer or other people. Liu Jie didn't know what was going on here. After thinking for a while, she replied truthfully, Xie Tingchan, I am Xie Tingchan's agent. Listening to cicadas in summer? Xiaochu was slightly stunned. Chapter 19 Bastard. When Xiaochu heard Xie Tingchan's name, he was slightly stunned and very surprised. Is this the legendary Fate? He sang a song in a bar and Xie Tingchan's agent found out and came to visit him. Fate is wonderful beyond words. It was clear that a dozen days ago, he and she were from two different worlds and had no intersection at all. Liu Jie noticed Xiaochu's strangeness and asked, Mr. Xiao, do you know Ting Chan from my family? Xiaochu smiled and said, of course I know him. He's a top-tier singer. How many people in the country don't know him? Liu Jie frowned, feeling something strange. Xiaochu smiled, but he didn't tell anyone that he knew Xie Tingchan in real life and that they even lived together. Because from Liu Jie's series of actions, Xie Tingchan obviously did not tell her about this. Otherwise, with the video, the other party would not have to run to the bar to find her, and search for her for 9 nights, almost turning over every bar in the Magic City. What made Xiaochu a little curious was, didn't Liu Jie show the video to Xie Tingchan? Otherwise, no matter what, Xie Tingchan would never let them search all over the street and make trouble. Liu Jie didn't think much about it, mainly because she couldn't think of the drama here, so she said, Mr. Xiao, if you sell that song to my Tingchan, with her strength, status, and popularity, she will definitely not bury it. She will definitely make it a big hit and spread it out of the circle. It will also be of great benefit to your influence in the industry at that time. Although I know you may not be interested in fame, this is ultimately a win-win situation. What do you think? Xiaochu didn't need to think that this must be a good thing, so he nodded and said, I agree, I can sell the song to you. Liu Jie was overjoyed, but she suppressed her excitement and said, if that's the case, then let's talk about the specific details of the cooperation. I'll call Tingchan over, and you two can discuss it in person. Xie Tingchan was writing songs at home and was not with her, so she didn't come over. Xiaochu imagined Xie Tingchan's surprised expression when she found out that the person selling the songs was her, so he prepared to tease her and said, I came out for cycling today, not to talk about work. How about this, I'm also on vacation tomorrow, you call Xie Tingchan and come to my house to find me together. Go to your house. Liu Jie was surprised. Xiaochu pretended not to notice her reaction and said, it's like this. My main job is not a musician, but a screenwriter, so I don't have an independent music studio, and I can't go to my workplace to discuss it. It just so happens that I just finished writing a play these days. I plan to take a good rest at home tomorrow and don't plan to go out. If you are sincere, come to my house to find me. If you feel it is inappropriate, forget it. Liu Jie was stunned. She felt that this person was unreliable. How could he go to his house to discuss serious matters? Could he be a liar who was trying to trick her and Tingchan into going to his house to do something illegal? She also wondered if this was a deliberate test given to her by Xiaochu to see how sincere she was. Many talented people are aloof, very self-centered, like to be different and make things difficult for others. Liu Jie and Gao Jing looked at each other. Gao Jing leaned close to her ear and whispered, I'll go with you guys tomorrow. We're 3 women together. Why should we be afraid of a stinky man like him? Liu Jie thought about it and decided that this was the only option. Then he replied, no problem. Mr. Xiao, Tingchan and I will visit your home tomorrow. Sorry to bother you. Xiaochu waved his hand, don't bother. Mainly I want to see Xie Tingchan's expression at that time. In the past, I asked you to leave but now I have to bring my agent to your house to see what you will do. What's the address? I'll send it to you later. Send me a copy too, add me on WeChat. Gao Jing interrupted. Afterwards, Xiaochu added the 2 girls on WeChat, sent Liu Jie his home address, and left in a leisurely manner. As for the money for coffee, it was of course paid by Gao Jing. She said it herself. Xiaochu has always respected women. But after he left, when it came time to pay, Liu Jie rushed to pay. How could she ask others to spend money when they have done her such a big favor? There is also a spar. Gao Jing reminded with satisfaction. Please, after we talk about the song tomorrow, I will invite you to go to the beautiful woman and spend a night with her. Liu Jie patted her chest and promised. And the Maldives. Please, once Ting Chan's new song is released, I will immediately treat you to a luxurious trip to the Maldives as a high-level VIP. I will never treat my sister badly. That's more like it. After Xiao Chu left the cafe, he continued writing, his mood getting better, and he hummed a song all the way. After Liu Jie and Gao Jing parted ways, they rushed back to Bishui number 3 as soon as possible. Xiaoari is mopping the floor. Xie Tingchan is listening to music and reading a book. Liu Jie pushed the door open, threw her bag aside, and rushed towards Xie Tingchan like a fly. Listen to the cicadas, I found it. I found it. Xie Tingchan was caught in her arms and almost fell down. She put down the book and headphones and straightened Liu Jie. Sister Liu, what did you find? It was the first time she saw Sister Liu lose her composure like this. Liu Jie got up from Xie Tingchan, her face flushed, still upset, her eyes filled with mixed emotions of excitement, joy, relief, etc. She smiled and said, "The mysterious songwriter who sang in the bar has been found. So that's what it is. It's worth being happy about it." Xie Tingchan nodded slightly. What's his name? Xiaochu. Xie Tingchan blinked, and his bright and crystal eyes stirred up a pool of clear spring. Liu Jie didn't notice her strangeness, and continued excitedly, "This Xiaochu is not a full-time musician. He doesn't usually go to bars. That's why we couldn't find him even after searching all the bars in the Magic City." "Then what is his job?" Xiaoari came over and asked. "Screenwriter, a contracted screenwriter of Dolphin Films." Xie Tingchan nodded. It was him, no doubt about it. There may be another Xiaochu in the world, but there will never be another Xiaochu who is a screenwriter, and happens to be working for Dolphin Pictures. With her eyes turning slightly, she said, "Sister Liu, let me see the video." Liu Jie slapped her forehead and then she remembered that she had never shown Xie Tingchan the video recorded by Gao Jing. It's not her fault, it's just habit. Xie Tingchan has a cold personality and has never cared about these things. She buys songs, contacts musicians, and negotiates with the company's production department, publicity department and other departments. She does everything by herself. Xie Tingchan is only responsible for singing. So this time I didn't show her the video first. I planned to wait until I found the mysterious creator, so as not to give her expectations and then disappoint her. Xie Tingchan clicked on the video sent by Liu Jie. In the dark bar, a gloomy, decadent, and vicissitudes of life man, holding a guitar, sang slowly on the stage. His voice was hoarse and his eyes were sad, like a lonely seagull in the sky. No wonder it touched a large group of people. Even a woman like Gao Jing, who has seen all the prosperity in the world, would be moved by it and couldn't help but record it. It sounds really nice. Ting Chan, I originally wanted to settle things today and ask you to go to the coffee shop as well, but Xiaochu said that he was out cycling today and didn't want to talk about work, so he asked us to go to his house tomorrow to find him. Jingjing agreed and will go with us tomorrow. Liu Jie said. Tomorrow? Go home? Xie Tingchan pursed her lips and uttered 2 words silently. Asshole. Chapter 20. Hello, my name is Xie Tingchan. At night, Bishui number 3 Riverview Villa. Liu Jie is sorting out the song purchase contracts for tomorrow. Xiaoari was browsing her phone with a smile on her round face, but I don't know who she was chatting with. Xie Tingchan was still sitting on the sofa watching TV with a few bags of snacks. When she is not busy, she likes to read books, listen to music, and watch movies. She especially loves watching various art films from China and abroad. She is a typical literary young woman. The movie she watched tonight was a famous French youth film recommended to her by a friend, and it was very much in line with her taste. But I don't know why, I couldn't concentrate on watching it tonight. It was a bit boring. Glancing at Sister Liu and Xiaoari who were busy with their own things, she picked up her phone and sent a message to Xiaochu. Listen to the cicada sounds in summer, what are you doing? On the other side, in a rental house in Daoyuan community, Xiaochu was playing Go with someone on his mobile phone. I saw the WeChat prompt, clicked on it, took a look, and replied with 1 word. Xiao Shizenlan, play. When Xie Tingchan saw the reply, he frowned and continued typing. Some are listening to cicadas, tomorrow. Xiao Shizenlan, let us talk about it tomorrow. After replying this, Xiaochu quit WeChat and concentrated on playing chess. This game of chess is very important to him. He has bet 50 million Yahoo coins. If he loses, he will be penniless overnight. He cannot be distracted. In Bishui number 3, Xia Tingchan looked at the dialogue box and frowned even more tightly. I wanted to say something else, but deleted it all before I finished typing it. Let us talk about it tomorrow, huh? Early the next morning, Liu Jie got everything ready. She asked Xia Tingchan, who had just finished exercising, to dress up and wear something formal, and then waited for Gao Jing to come and meet her. When Xia Tingchan heard Liu Jie asking her to dress up prettier, she curled her lips. Is it necessary to talk to Xiaochu? It's not the first time I've seen you. But after thinking about it, she went back to the room. When she came out, her long straight black hair was loose, and she wore a light-colored windbreaker with a simple white t-shirt, slim jeans and Martin boots, and a baseball cap. Their whole outfit was simple yet beautiful. With her snow-white skin, she looks even more graceful, elegant and refined. Even someone like Liu Jie, who had been in the same room with her for a long time, felt amazed at first glance. Ting-chan, you are so beautiful. Even a woman like me would want to marry you home and hide you away as a fairy. Liu Jie couldn't help but sigh. Xiaoari nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. Yes, Sister Chan is so beautiful that it makes people dazzled and I can't feel jealous at all. Xia Tingchan smiled faintly and said, you are exaggerating. Xiaoari quickly shook her head, it's not an exaggeration at all, really. Sister Chan, I admire you so much. Xia Tingchan tapped her forehead. The little girl was so cute. Liu Jie felt a little regretful and said, Ting-chan, why don't you stop dressing up so beautifully and change back to your previous look? It's so beautiful. What if Xiaochu didn't have that intention at first, but got fascinated after seeing it and became attracted by its beauty? I'm really worried. Xia Tingchan knew what Liu Jie was thinking, so she smiled and said, let's just leave it like that. Changing again will be too much trouble and will also waste time. Isn't Gao Jing coming over soon? Okay. Liu Jie looked at the time and decided that this was the only thing she could do. Just then, Gao Jing called. After Liu Jie answered the call, she asked, Jing Yao Jing, are you here? We'll be down right away. No. I'm sorry, girl. The company has a temporary task and asked me to go on a business trip to the capital. I can't accompany you today. I'm sorry. Gao Jing's guilty voice came from the phone. Going on a business trip to the capital? It's nothing. If you have something to do, of course you should go ahead and do your thing first. It's okay on my side. I asked you to go with us just in case. You don't have to feel guilty. We still have Xiaoari. I'll let her drive. Liu Jie comforted him. It was really not a big deal. The reason why Gao Jing was asked to go with him was because, as a woman, she is naturally wary of strange men, and normally nothing would happen. Besides, Xiaochu is so handsome, doesn't he look like a bad guy, right? Gao Jing apologized again and again for breaking her promise and said sorry several times. It wasn't because there was estrangement between them, but because breaking the appointment was not in her style. After hanging up the phone, Liu Jie told Xia Tingchan about the matter, and Xia Tingchan certainly had no objection. When Xiaoari heard that she was asked to be responsible for driving, she did not object, but was very happy instead. As Sister Chan's assistant and Sister Liu's minion, this kind of thing should have been left to her. Then the three of them drove to Xiaochu's house. Liu Jie introduced, Ting Chan, Xiaochu lives in Daoyuan community on Qingyan Road. It's a rented house. Let's just go up directly. I've asked around, the security in that area is very good, there shouldn't be any safety issues. Xia Tingchan blinked, Qingyan Road, Daoyuan Community, Building 28, Unit 4, Room 502, no one knows her better than anyone else. Xiaoari, on the other hand, was a little surprised when looking at the navigation. Hey, why is this community so close to Ruanxi Park where I picked up Sister Chan twice before? Xiaoari, what are you thinking about? Liu Jie saw the surprise and doubt on her face. Xiaoari quickly shook her head, nothing, Sister Liu, I just want to see if the route is correct. Then drive carefully after reading this, don't let your imagination run wild, it's not safe. Oh. Xiaoari nodded, and couldn't help but glance at Xia Tingchan. Xia Tingchan noticed her little movement, looked straight ahead, and looked calm, but felt a little uneasy in his heart. More than 30 minutes later, the BMW 530 stopped downstairs of Daoyuan Community. Liu Jie told Xiaoari, I will go up with Ting Chan in a while, you just wait in this car and keep the phone connected. If you hear anything wrong, call the police immediately. Do you remember? Xiaoari nodded, I remember. Very good. I will call you now. Remember not to talk and don't let the call hang up. Just listen carefully. Liu Jie reminded again. Xiaoari nodded again. Xie Tingchan watched from the side and wanted to laugh, but did not show it and did not say anything. Liu Jie also knew that what she did was a little exaggerated. They were going to meet a music creator, not to meet with criminals. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Who asked Xiaochu to make me go to his house to meet him? You don't have a studio and it's not appropriate for you to go to the company where you work, so why don't you meet at a restaurant or cafe instead of going to your home? Don't blame her for thinking too much. Ting Chan, you are so beautiful and I am also somewhat pretty. It's not wrong to be careful. Liu Jie still explained. Xie Tingchan nodded in agreement. Then the two of them went upstairs, and when they arrived at the door of 502, Xie Tingchan asked Liu Jie to stand in front. Liu Jie knocked on the door. Soon Xiaochu opened it. Ladies, welcome, please come in. Xiaochu said enthusiastically. Liu Jie also said familiarly, Hello, Mr. Xiao, we meet again. Then he introduced, This is Miss Xie Tingchan that I told you about. Tingchan, this is Mr. Xiaochu Xiao. Xiaochu nodded with a strange expression, then looked at Xie Tingchan and blinked. Xie Tingchan had a blank expression on his face. When Liu Jie looked over, she pursed her lips slightly, stretched out her hand and said, Hello, my name is Xie Tingchan. Chapter 21 Do you drink water? Hello, my name is Xie Tingchan. He said it so casually, not at all pretending, as if it was really the first time they met. Xiaochu sighed. For the first time, he discovered that this woman was not only a natural singer, but also a talented actress who could act without any trace of flaws. However, he was going to tease her some more. Smiling, he asked, What kind of cicada is summer? Xie Tingchan replied calmly, Xie Tingchan. What are you listening to? Xie Tingchan glared at him with an unfriendly look. Xiaochu, however, smiled gently, with a pure look on his face, but his eyes were full of teasing. Xie Tingchan curled his lips, his eyes like cutting water contained infinite murderous intent. When Liu Jie, who was standing nearby, saw this scene, she secretly cried out, Oh no! Could it be that this Xiao guy was really a bad guy and was really going to do something bad? What should I do? Should I let Xiaoari call the police now? Xiaochu saw that the murderous intent in Xie Tingchan's eyes was growing stronger and stronger, and she might explode in the next second. Liu Jie also looked nervous, so he stopped teasing her. Smiling, he explained, Sorry, it was just a joke. I was just too excited to see my favorite celebrity. Please forgive me. Then he stretched out his hand to shake hands with Xie Tingchan. As soon as the contact occurred, Xie Tingchan pulled his hand away, obviously still angry about the teasing just now. Liu Jie breathed a sigh of relief, but the next moment she felt something was wrong. He looked at Xiaochu, then at Xie Tingchan, but couldn't see anything. Could it be that I slept too late last night and didn't get enough rest, so I'm in a trance? Shaking her head, she tried to cheer herself up. Today concerns the development of Xie Tingchan's music career, and there can be no mistakes. Then he said, Mr. Xiao, Tingchan is just like that. When he first meets someone, he is a little. He will be fine after getting along for a while. Don't mind it. Xie Tingchan frowned. It was obviously Xiaochu who was causing trouble, but he was belittling her. Xiaochu smiled after hearing this and looked at Xie Tingchan. Thinking back to the first time they met, she suddenly appeared behind him early in the morning with a shiny kitchen knife in her hand. It was quite scary. After spending some more time with her, I discovered that beneath her beautiful, cold and indifferent appearance, she actually had a proud and spoiled heart, and I thought she was quite cute. Xie Tingchan seemed to guess what he was thinking and snorted in dissatisfaction. Then she turned her head away, ignored him, and walked over to the sofa and sat down. Xiaochu secretly laughed when he saw this. He still didn't admit that he was arrogant. Liu Jie didn't notice the little trick between the two and said, Mr. Xiao, can we talk about the song now? I brought the contract, would you like to take a look? Finally, we get to the point. Xiaochu nodded, Okay, let's sit down and talk. Then the two of them sat on the sofa, Liu Jie and Xie Tingchan on one side, and Xiaochu on the other. Xia Tingchan had already downloaded the standard song purchase contract from the official website of the Music Association in advance and printed out 3 copies, which he handed to Xiaochu to read. Mr. Xiao, please take a look. If you have any opinions, please feel free to raise them and we can discuss it. Liu Jie was very polite. Xiaochu read it carefully. After more than 10 minutes, he looked at it and asked, 200,000. Buy out all the copyrights. Liu Jie asked, Mr. Xiao, do you think there is a problem here? Xiaochu nodded and said, the amount seems a bit high. The music creators in this world, like screenwriters, are also clearly divided into levels, and are also divided from low to high into 4-level creators, newcomers, 3rd-level creators, 2nd-level creators, 1st-level creators, master creators, and platinum creators. The remuneration for each level varies greatly. According to the market conditions, for a new songwriter like Xiaochu, the price for writing a song including lyrics and music is only 20,000 yuan. 200,000, this is the value of a 2nd-level creator. Xiaochu either thought the money was too much or that it was not appropriate. And buying out all copyrights is also a bit problematic. There are many types of music copyright, including performing rights, distribution rights, broadcasting rights, commercial use rights, etc. Generally speaking, music creators will not sell all their copyrights at once. Liu Jie explained, it's like this, the amount of 200,000 was proposed by Ting Chan. In order to express our sincerity, we negotiate with you at the price of a 2nd-level creator. As for the full copyright buyout, it was downloaded from the official website. We can discuss it. If you think any clause is inappropriate, we will change it. Everything is based on your wishes. Xiaochu looked at Xia Tingchan. He didn't expect that the amount of 200,000 was her idea. When he looked over, Xia Tingchan turned her head and looked out the window with a calm and indifferent expression, as if everything had nothing to do with her. Is this being arrogant again? Xiaochu thought to himself. Mr. Xiao, Mr. Xiao. Liu Jie called out a few times when she saw him staring at Xia Tingchan in a daze. Xiaochu came back to his senses, smiled apologetically, and then said seriously, I am a newcomer after all. It is not appropriate to directly use the status of a 2nd-level creator, and it is not appropriate to have full copyright. How about this, 150,000 yuan, only selling the singing rights, publishing rights, broadcasting rights and network dissemination rights. The commercial use rights can be used first, but they need to be authorized again. What do you think? Liu Jie thought for a few seconds and looked at Xia Tingchan. Xia Tingchan nodded. Liu Jie smiled and said, okay, that's it. I'll modify the contract first and you can take a look at it. If there's no problem, I'll go back and print it out and we'll sign it this afternoon. I happen to be free at noon, so I'll treat you, Teacher Xiao, to a simple meal to express my gratitude. The cooperation was agreed upon, and the address changed from Mr. Xiao to Teacher Xiao, and the relationship became closer. Xiaochu nodded and had no objection. Liu Jie brought a laptop and quickly modified the document. She asked Xiaochu to check it again. After confirming that there was no problem, she prepared to go back and print it out. I was not confident about the printing shop outside and the company was not even considering it, so I had no choice but to go back to Bishui number 3, which had a full set of printers. Before leaving, Xia Tingchan suddenly said, Sister Liu, you go back first. I want to talk to Xiao. Teacher Xiao about the song. Liu Jie looked at her in surprise. Xia Tingchan looked calm and explained, since the cooperation has been successfully discussed, I would like to proceed as soon as possible so that it can be produced and released earlier, right? Don't worry, it's okay. Just let Xiao Ari wait downstairs. Besides, you will be back soon, and you still have to treat Teacher Xiao to lunch at noon, right? Turning to Xiaochu, he blinked, right, Teacher Xiao. Xiaochu pretended not to hear. Xia Tingchan kicked him lightly under the coffee table. Xiaochu couldn't play dumb anymore, and quickly replied, yes, I still have a few small questions about the song, and I need to discuss them with Miss Xia. Really? Liu Jie doubted. Xia Tingchan nodded. Xiaochu was forced to nod. Okay, then you guys chat. I'll try to be back within an hour. If you need anything, you can call Xiao Ari. She's downstairs. Liu Jie could only agree, and at the same time hinted to Xiaochu that her people were downstairs and he should not have any bad intentions. Xiaochu feels aggrieved. Does he have any ulterior motives? It was obviously Xia Tingchan who insisted on staying. He was a little worried that she might do something strange. This beautiful and cold Miss Xie was not someone to be trifled with. Tap, tap, tap. Liu Jie went downstairs in her high heels. Only Xiao Chu and Xie Tingchan were left in the rental house. Xiao Chu felt a little thirsty, so he went to the refrigerator and got a bottle of mineral water. When he turned around, he found Xie Tingchan staring at him with a sullen face and deep eyes. Xiao Chu felt cold all over and shivered when he was stared at. What, do you want some water? Xiao Chu handed the water with both hands, looking embarrassed. Chapter 22 Weird Ways of Writing Songs. Snort. Xie Tingchan snorted, took the mineral water from Xiao Chu's hand, sat on the sofa and played with his mobile phone. It's impossible to talk about songs or anything like that. She was just angry that he had repeatedly teased her in front of Sister Liu, so she stayed behind on purpose to glare at him. And she really likes staying here and doesn't want to come and leave, and come back again. Too troublesome. It was very quiet in the rental house. Xie Tingchan is looking at his phone. Xiao Chu looked at her. The phone couldn't talk, but Xie Tingchan got annoyed and glared at him. What are you looking at? Xiao Chu wanted to reply, it's up to you, but he felt that this was too frivolous and did not fit his personality, so he said instead, are you really not going to tell Liu Jie about our relationship? Xie Tingchan glanced at him, what is the relationship between us? Oh. Xiao Chu was choked. He really couldn't answer it for a moment. Friend? Definitely not. Cohabiting couple? Even more nonsense. What about roommates? It doesn't seem entirely right. After all, Xie Tingchan only came over occasionally, staying for half a day or a night, and he had to be responsible for her food and drink. How can I find such a roommate? To sum up, it's a bit unclear. So Xiao Chu finally replied, unclear relationship. Xie Tingchan curled the corners of his mouth and was too lazy to respond. Xiao Chu also felt a little bored and prepared to go back to his study to sort out the details of the plot for River God so that he could improve his efficiency when he started writing. But just as he was about to turn around, before he moved, he heard Xie Tingchan's voice again. Don't tell Sister Liu. Xiao Chu smiled. He just said it was no big deal, but now he doesn't allow me to say anything? Miss Xie, you failed, okay? Xie Tingchan heard his laughter, raised her head, and looked at him with bright eyes. Xiao Chu was quickly defeated and waved his hand, saying, okay, I won't tell you, but what's in it for me? Xie Tingchan said calmly, you said on WeChat before that you wanted to thank me. Xiao Chu was stunned. So, this is the hush money you gave me. Even though you don't know why I should thank you. Okay, then don't tell me. But the truth will come out sooner or later, and you can't blame me then. Xiao Chu could only agree. Xie Tingchan raised his eyelids but did not comment. An hour and a half later, Liu Jie returned. The contract has been printed in triplicate. Xiao Chu checked it carefully and confirmed that there was no problem, then they signed and the two parties formally reached an agreement. The singing rights, distribution rights, broadcasting rights, online dissemination rights and other rights of the song Mo are formally transferred to the other party. Liu Jie also readily paid Xiao Chu 150,000 yuan in copyright fees in one lump sum. Now that the money has been given, let us get down to business. The three of them came to the study. Seeing the piano in the study, Liu Jie was a little surprised and said, I didn't expect teacher Xiao to set up his studio at home. No wonder he wanted to come to my house to talk. This piano looks quite new. Was it just replaced? Xiao Chu secretly looked at Xie Tingchan. Xie Tingchan looked away and pretended not to see it. You're so good at pretending. Xiao Chu gave Xie Tingchan a thumbs up in his heart. Facing Liu Jie's inquiring gaze, he used the same excuse he had given to his master's wife before, this piano is not mine, but belongs to a friend of mine. She went abroad to study and had no place to put it, so she left it with me first. I'll keep it for her. It happens to be something I can use. This piano must be worth hundreds of thousands, right? She actually feels comfortable leaving it with you. It seems like you two have a very good relationship. Liu Jie praised. Xiao Chu stole another glance at Xie Tingchan and replied, that should be it, right? Liu Jie didn't notice the loophole in his words and looked around the entire study room. The study was converted from a large bedroom and is connected to a small balcony. It has good air permeability and is quite spacious. In the past, he was supposed to write scripts here, while Lin Yu would memorize lines and practice acting on the side. But now it is no longer needed, so Xia Tingchan's piano comes in handy. After Liu Jie finished looking around, Xiaochu said, I mentioned this in the coffee shop. I need to see who the singer is so I can choose a model for cooperation. To be frank, my way of writing songs is quite special, and I need the cooperation of the singer, that is, Miss Xia. Is that okay? There is no problem, it's just that it's strange. Liu Jie and Xia Tingchan looked at each other, and Xia Tingchan nodded slightly. Liu Jie said, of course there is no problem, but I don't know how teacher Xiao needs Tingchan to cooperate. Xiaochu looked at Liu Jie, then at Xia Tingchan, touched his nose, and said awkwardly, I have the lyrics and melody in my mind, but I'm not very good at composing music, so the singer needs to write it himself. This. Liu Jie was dumbfounded and felt like she had met a big liar. How can you write a song like this? Is this still called songwriting? Xia Tingchan just looked at Xiaochu with some curiosity and blinked her clear eyes. It was also the first time she encountered such a situation. Xiaochu spread his hands, indicating that he was just like that. Liu Jie looked at him seriously for a few times, pulled Xia Tingchan aside, and whispered to herself. Tingchan, why do I feel that what Xiaochu said is unreliable? Could we have met a liar? Xia Tingchan shook his head, no, I believe he is not a liar. How can you believe this? How can you tell that he's not lying? That song, Mo, is really a new song, and the quality is also very high. Music cannot be faked. It's possible that he got it from somewhere else and used it to cheat us. He didn't come to deceive us. We took the initiative to find him. Can. Sister Liu, you believe me? I believe him. Liu Jie was still a little worried, and frowned as she said, Tingchan, this is no small matter. It's not a big deal that we've lost money, but the most important thing is that other people have also lost money. If he really is a liar, he could be very dangerous. Are you sure he's okay? Xia Tingchan nodded, I'm sure. Liu Jie was helpless and had no other choice, so she said dejectedly, okay, I believe you, but I will keep an eye on him. If there is anything wrong with him, I will call the police. At this moment, Liu Jie was like an old hen protecting her chicks, ready to spread her wings at any time. Xia Tingchan smiled, which made her feel relieved. On the other side, Xiaochu couldn't hear what they were saying. He only saw Liu Jie muttering, while Xia Tingchan first shook her head, then nodded, and only said a few very short words. After a while, the two came back. Liu Jie said seriously, Teacher Xiao, we believe in you and agree to let Tingchan cooperate with you. Tell me, what are you going to do? Xiaochu looked at Xia Tingchan, whose face showed no emotion. He didn't care what they were talking about just now, and said directly, well, I will write down the lyrics first, and then teach Miss Xia to sing. After Miss Xia learns it, she can write the score herself. Looking at Xia Tingchan, is everything okay? Xia Tingchan said calmly, no problem. It is not easy for her to write a high-quality song from scratch, but it is easy to transcribe the melody. After all, he is a professional singer and graduated from a professional school. That's good, let's get started. Then Xiaochu wrote down the lyrics of the song, Mo, that he sang in the bar on a piece of paper and gave it to Xia Tingchan. Xia Tingchan watched silently for more than 10 seconds, then nodded and said, we can start now. Then I'll teach you to sing it line by line, and you follow along. With your professionalism, 2 takes should be enough. Xiaochu began to sing. I couldn't help but transform myself into a stubborn fish, swimming alone against the current to the end. Xia Tingchan followed and learned. I couldn't help but transform myself into a stubborn fish, swimming alone against the current to the end. The vows I made sincerely when I was young sank silently into the deep sea. The vows I made sincerely when I was young sank silently into the deep sea. After revisiting it several times, the ending is still the same, losing you. After revisiting it several times, the ending is still the same, losing you. Xiaochu taught 1 sentence at a time, and Xia Tingchan learned 1 sentence at a time, just like a music teacher teaching elementary school students to sing. Xiaochu taught very seriously. Xia Tingchan studied very seriously. Liu Jie found it a bit strange. At the same time, I feel a bit redundant. Well, it's redundant. Chapter 23 will be online next Wednesday. After 2 times, Xia Tingchan had really learned it. Xiaochu asked her to sing it completely, and he would correct her if there were any imperfections. Xiaochu can't compose music, but his pitch is pretty good. After all, he was a music enthusiast, a KTV singing god, and the little prince of pitch in his previous life. Xia Ting heard the cicaders start to sing, he listened and then corrected them. Now he really becomes Teacher Xiao. After 2 more times, there was no flaw in the rhythm, pitch, or pronunciation. Listen to the cicaders in summer, they are indeed born singers. Although there was no accompaniment and she was just singing a cappella, her voice was ethereal, melodious and clear. Her singing was clean and pure, like the sound of nature, which went straight into people's hearts and was very catchy. How is it? After singing, Xia Tingchan looked at Xiaochu. Sing it again. Xiaochu said after a pause. He felt that it was already perfect and didn't know why he had to sing it again, but after Xiaochu said so, Xia Tingchan started singing again seriously. Xiaochu secretly picked up his mobile phone, opened the recording software, and placed it next to the piano. Xia Tingchan only noticed his little action after he finished singing. This time, it's still perfect. Xiaochu clicked on the recording, put it to his ear and listened. There were only 2 words. Sounds good. Enjoy. Xia Tingchan looked at him with clear eyes. Xiaochu didn't care at all and said, "This is your first offline a cappella performance. It's very rare and exclusive material. If you can't make a living one day, sell it online. Your fans will go crazy for it." Xia Tingchan curled her lips with a bit of disdain, but didn't care. Then he picked up the manuscript paper and pencil that Liu Jie had brought and began to transcribe the music. He wrote very seriously, occasionally stopping to hum a few lines before continuing to write. Xiaochu was doing nothing on the side, watching her write, and unconsciously became a little absent-minded. It was the first time he noticed that she was dressed so beautifully today. Graceful and elegant. Pure and elegant. Plus the literary and intellectual temperament that emanates when he is seriously writing music. A true literary goddess. Xiaochu couldn't help but stare in amazement. I don't know how long it took, Xia Tingchan stopped writing, and just when he was about to drink some water, he turned his head and found Xiaochu staring at him infatuatedly. She blinked, turned her head back, pretended she saw nothing, and continued writing music. However, when she turned to the side, she finally woke Xiaochu up. After coming back to his senses, Xiaochu looked at Xia Tingchan, who was writing with her head down. His face was slightly hot, and he said awkwardly, "Well, I was just thinking about the plot of the script, and I was a little distracted. Sorry." Xia Tingchan continued to write the music without stopping, and it was not known whether he heard it or not. Xiaochu was very embarrassed. He had seen her so many times and should have been immune to Xia Tingchan's beauty. He didn't expect to be so stunned and act stupid in front of her. The most important thing is that she saw it. It's a bit embarrassing. I can't stay here any longer. Xiaochu stood up silently and left the study. The moment the study door was closed, Xia Tingchan put down his pen and did not look back. However, there were a few pink blushes on her neck and ears. It is faint, like the rising morning glow, and very beautiful. Sitting on the sofa in the living room was Liu Jie, who had felt redundant and came out on her own. Seeing Xiaochu, she stood up and said, "Teacher Xiao, you're out. How's your writing going?" She just heard the singing of the summer cicaders, which was very nice. She knew that teaching and learning were going smoothly, without the mess she had worried about. Xiaochu's expression had returned to normal, and he replied, "Miss Xia has already learned the song and is currently writing the score. It shouldn't take long." "Well, that's good. I asked Xiaowari to order a private restaurant with a good reputation. We'll go eat after the cicaders come out. Thank you, Teacher Xiao, for being willing to cooperate with us." Liu Jie was very satisfied and expressed her gratitude. "You're welcome. As you said before, our cooperation is mutually beneficial and win-win." Liu Jie smiled and stopped talking nonsense in front of the real person. Being too polite would make you seem awkward. At about 12:30, Xia Tingchan finally came out of the study. Liu Jie went up to him and asked, "How is it going? Have you finished writing it?" Xia Tingchan raised a smile at the corner of his mouth. "Well, the first draft is done, I just need to polish it when I go back." "That's good. Xiaowari is already waiting at the Dai Bistro. Let's go over there." Dai Restaurant is a private restaurant in the vicinity that is not very famous but is very exquisite. Don't be fooled by its name, the environment and dishes are both very good. Liu Jie has also sent Xiaowari to scout ahead. The environment is really good and the privacy is excellent, so there is no need to worry about being recognized and watched. Xia Tingchan looked at Xiaochu. Xiaochu stood up and said, "Let's go." There was nothing unusual on either of their faces, and the two scenes in the study were as if they had never happened. They are all good at acting. As for Liu Jie, she knows nothing. Just as he was about to go downstairs, Xiaochu's cell phone suddenly rang. It was Zhang Songher, the production manager, who called. "Let me take a call." Xiaochu said something to the two girls and answered the phone. "Xiao Xiao, if you have nothing to do now, please come to the company." Zhang Songher went straight to the point. Xiaochu frowned slightly. "Manager, what's wrong? Is there something wrong with the film?" Zhang Songher said with a smile, "There is no problem with the film, but the editing is almost finished, and I want you, the screenwriter, to come over and check it. The higher-ups have seen the sample and take it very seriously. They are planning to release it online next Wednesday. To be on the safe side, I asked you to come back as well. I don't want any flaws." Xiaochu thought about it and replied, "Okay, I'll be right over." After hanging up, he said to the two girls, "I'm sorry, there's something urgent going on at the company, so I can't go to dinner with you." Liu Jie expressed her understanding. Xia Tingchan asked calmly, "Is it urgent?" Xiaochu smiled and said, "Not really, it's just that the play I wrote will be released next Wednesday, and the company asked me to go back and check it together so that they can feel more at ease." Xia Tingchan nodded and said nothing more. After going downstairs together, Liu Jie offered to take Xiaochu to the company. It was difficult to get a taxi at this time, so she drove her own Audi A6 from home. However, Xiaochu refused. It was quite a distance from here to the company, and the trip would delay people's meals. He takes the subway, which is also very convenient. "Let us take you to the subway entrance." Xia Tingchan spoke, making the final decision. A few minutes later, Xia Tingchan and Liu Jie sent Xiaochu to the nearest subway station entrance. After Xiaochu got off the car, Liu Jie looked at his back, then at Xia Tingchan, and seemed to want to say something but stopped herself. Xia Tingchan noticed her expression and said, "Sister Liu, just say whatever you want to say." Liu Jie paused and said, "Tingchan, although Mr. Xiao's way of writing songs is a bit weird, he is actually a very good person with a good personality. I haven't found any problems with his character yet. You should be nice to others in the future, and don't act on your temper and offend others. He is a man of real talent. I hope we can work together for a long time in the future. This way, you won't be in such a difficult situation in the music industry." The reason why Xia Tingchan has had such a difficult time at work in the past 2 years is not only due to Qian Bulei's suppression, but also largely due to Xia Tingchan's own personality. He is aloof, independent, and too straightforward. He cannot tolerate any flaws in his eyes, which has offended many people. Otherwise, if they were willing to spend money, they would not miss out on buying good songs. This offended the bigwigs in the music industry and he was targeted. Xia Tingchan listened quietly, then looked at Liu Jie with a strange look in his eyes. "Don't you always think he's a bad guy and want to call the police?" Liu Jie thought about what she said before and felt that it was a bit exaggerated. She said, "That was before. Now time will tell. Although we have only been together for half a day, I believe that Teacher Xiao is not a bad person. So you must get along well with Teacher Xiao, control your temper, and don't fall out again. Get along well with Xiaochu." Xia Tingchan blinked. "I'm serious, you have to keep it in mind." Liu Jie emphasized again. "Oh. This is an agreement. Dolphin Films." Xiaochu went to the company and went straight to Zhang Songher's office. Director Lu Gaoxing was also there. Seeing Xiaochu come in, Zhang Songher and Lu Gaoxing both smiled. "Xiao Xiao, come and sit down." Zhang Songher happily asked his secretary to pour tea for Xiaochu. Chapter 24 GUA. Zhang Songher saw Xiaochu smiling, and Lu Gaoxing also had a smile on his face. This is because the filming of River God turned out very well. Lu Gaoxing was very satisfied, Zhang Songher was very satisfied, and the film and television directors above were also very satisfied. It is said that film is the art of the director, because in addition to the story, it also involves various technical aspects such as light and shadow, art, editing, music, lens application, etc., and each link is permeated with the director's various artistic sparks and concepts. Even the way of telling the story is determined by the director. Different directors have different styles, which are varied and distinct. TV dramas, on the other hand, are relatively simple. TV series, including web series, tell a story that is either funny, heartwarming, inspirational, or sad, so as to attract audiences, gain clicks and ratings, and report to TV stations and advertisers. TV dramas web series do not have so many artistic aspirations and ideological pursuits. They are popular, common and entertaining products. Therefore, under this positioning, relatively speaking, the screenwriter who is responsible for weaving the story is the soul of TV drama creation. For an attractive TV series, the director can be mediocre and the actors can be inexperienced, but the plot must be interesting, complete, logically self-consistent, and have a good beginning and a good ending. Only in this way can it continue to attract the audience and win ratings during the long broadcast process. If River God is a success, Xiaochu should be the first to make the contribution. Xiao Xiao, director Yang watched all the samples of River God this morning. He praised it very much and felt that it has certain potential to be a hit. It will be released online next Wednesday. We at Dolphin Video haven't produced an excellent TV series in over half a year. We are lagging far behind the other four. As we said before the project started, director Yang and the company have high expectations for this new drama, so we called you back to participate in the final review and editing. Zhang Songher introduced. Lu Gaoxing was also drinking tea and looking at Xiaochu. Xiaochu looked calm, but he was muttering in his heart, didn't the teacher say at that time that the company only had certain expectations for the new drama? How come it has become a big expectation now? After watching the sample film, although his mind was full of thoughts, Xiaochu would not show them. It is a good thing to get the recognition from the company. The next step is to win the recognition from the market. He smiled and replied, I believe in the abilities of Director Lu and my colleagues in the editing team. Manager, if you ask me to come back, I won't be able to play any role. At most, I can just accompany you to watch it. Zhang Songher nodded at him and scolded him with a smile, you may be modest, but you are little too cunning. Besides me, there's Director Lu here. How could we not know your level? Besides, it was Director Lu who took the initiative to suggest that you get involved. You don't have to worry about offending him, right, old Lu? Lu Gaoxing smiled and nodded, yes, Xiao Xiao is young and this is his first time to independently write a script, but his speed in selecting ideas, efficiency in writing, and ability to adjust details on the spot are all obvious to all. I feel more at ease being able to participate in the final review. I took the initiative to ask you to join. Xiaochu raised his eyebrows. Well, these two big guys are praising him together. He can't escape having to work overtime to review the drama. At 6:10, after get off work, Xiaochu met his teacher Li Wenqian at the company gate. Teacher, you haven't left yet? Xiaochu asked. He worked overtime for 40 minutes because he watched one more episode. Li Wenqian said, I haven't left yet. I'm waiting for you. Wait for me. Well, I heard that Lao Zhang and Lao Lu asked you to participate in the final review. Yes, it will be online at 8 o'clock next Wednesday night. The marketing and publicity departments have already started working on it. We are also under great pressure and under tight time, so they asked me to get involved. Li Wenqian patted his shoulder and said, this is a good thing. It means the company values you. Come home with me. I've told your master's wife the news. She's very happy for you too. She'll definitely let you go back for dinner and celebrate with you. Xiaochu was slightly stunned. Isn't this a bad idea? After all, it won't be online until next week. Why is it bad? This is the first play you wrote after becoming a regular employee. It went online so smoothly. No matter how you celebrate, it's not excessive. Let's go. Your master's wife has already prepared the food. It's okay if you don't come to my place, but your master's wife will be angry. Xiaochu looked at Lao Li suspiciously. Teacher, you want to drink, don't you? You're afraid of being scolded by the teacher's wife, so you drag me along. Li Wenqian glared at him in feigned anger. What are you talking about, you little brat? How dare your mistress stop me from drinking? I'm just happy for you. Go away. If you don't leave, I won't be happy. Oh, the more you try to hide it, the more obvious it becomes. But thinking about the help the teacher had given him, Xiaochu decided to go anyway. My master's wife is such a sharp-eyed person, she should be able to see that I was forced, and she won't scold me as well, right? When I arrived at Li's house, Li Xinyan was not at home. She had gone back to school. Now she is in her third year of high school and the study schedule is very tight, so her teacher's wife simply let her move to the school and only let her come back on weekends. Seeing that Lao Li happily took out the hidden wine from the study, the master's wife did not scold him, but just pinched his waist. Achu's new play will be online soon. You are allowed to drink a little, but not too much, otherwise you will have to sleep in the study tonight. Har har, how could it be an overdose? I was just happy for Achu and drank a little with him. If he hadn't suggested it, I wouldn't have wanted to drink. Chu, the scapegoat, is online. Xiaochu couldn't stand the flirting teacher and his wife, so he went to the kitchen to serve the dishes. The master's wife glanced at the kitchen and pinched Lao Li again. Lao Li didn't dodge or cry out in pain, he just grinned foolishly and said, "You can drink as much as you want tonight." Just when Xiaochu was at Li's house, drinking with his teacher, Xia Tingchan took a car to a high-end music restaurant. Before leaving, Liu Jie was a little worried. Is it really okay to leave the production of the song to your old classmate? I don't need to contact other music studios. Xia Tingchan replied, no need, Yu Wei just came back from abroad and is preparing to open a music studio. It's no problem to hand it over to her. Zhu Maiyang is working with Yao Dasan. Is your classmate really that good? Now that she already has a great song, Liu Jie plans to release it at the same time as Zhu Meiyan's new song, competing on the same stage, suppressing her and venting her anger. Therefore, she is very concerned about the production of Mo and plans to invite a first-class production team to arrange the music. However, Xia Tingchan expressed a different opinion and wanted to let her college classmates do it. It's not that Liu Jie doesn't believe Xia Tingchan, but she is a little worried about Ji Yue, who has no fame in the circle. This song, Silence, is related to the development of Xia Tingchan's music career and cannot be lost. Yu Wei can do it, I believe in her. Xia Tingchan said firmly. Okay, I believe you. Let Xiao'er go with you. Liu Jie could only agree. At 8:20, Xia Tingchan met a woman with ordinary looks but first-class temperament at Alice Music Restaurant. It was the music producer Ji Yue who returned from abroad. Yue, long time no see. Well, long time no see, Fairy Sicarder has become more beautiful again, I'm really envious of her. I wonder which stinky man she will end up being the one to take advantage of. Ji Yu walked up with a smile and gave Xia Tingchan a hug. Xia Tingchan also hugged her with a bright smile on her face. Xiao'er walked forward and put the bag on the seat. In a blink of an eye, it was Wednesday afternoon of the new week. In a few hours, the web drama River God will be officially launched. Chapter 25, River God is online. Wednesday afternoon, 4:30. Dolphin Film and Television Production Department, Manager S Office. Manager Zhang Songher, Director Lu Gaoshan, and producer Zhu Qing gathered in a room. Zhang Songher placed his left hand on the desk, tapping the surface lightly with his 5 fingers. Lu Gaoshan is reading a newspaper. Zhu Qing plays with his cell phone. Zhang Songher suddenly stopped knocking on the table and looked at the other two. There are still 3.5 hours before River God is officially launched. All the work has been done. Is everything ready? Zhu Qingxian answered, my job is in Hengqin. What he meant was that if River God performed well and was not cancelled, he would continue to work in Hengqin. If it performed poorly and was cancelled, he would also return to Hengqin to finish it. Everything here has nothing to do with him. Lu Gaoshan put down the newspaper and said, all the post-production work has been completed. The marketing department has also launched a promotional campaign. 3 trailers have been released on Dolphin Video, Weibo, and short videos. We have also done other things to attract traffic and promote the product. The rest can only be left to the audience and God. Zhang Songher nodded. In fact, he also knew that all the work had been completed and it was just a matter of going online. He asked this only because he was a little nervous. Although it is a small web drama project, River God is also the focus of his recent work. In fact, due to the high quality of the sample film, the expectations that did not originally belong to it were placed on it. This put a lot of pressure on Zhang Songher, the general manager. If River God performs well, everyone will be happy. If it is not good, he will be at the forefront and face the pressure from the company's top management. No wonder he insisted on calling Xiaochu back to participate in the final review. The pressure is too great, even an experienced producer would feel a little anxious and worried. What do you think the clicks for a single episode of River God will get in the first week? Jong Sung-her spoke again. Ju Ching and Lu Gaoxing looked at each other and asked each other to predict the performance of River God. It was Ju Ching who answered first, at least 5 million. Lu Gaoxing was not sure, 10 million. 500, 1,000. Jong Sung-her tapped the table again. It would be great if we could really get 10 million. The performance of online dramas in this world is measured by the actual number of clicks. The so-called real clicks, that is, the click-through index of the real network IP, not only must the IP be real, but each episode must be watched for at least 1/3 of the duration to be counted as a valid click. The relevant government departments will conduct strict supervision and no brushing is allowed, whether it is for yourself or for your opponents. If you brush it for yourself, once it is discovered, you will be fined hundreds of millions of dollars. Brushing your opponent or deliberately blackmailing your opponent will result in a heavier penalty. In short, there are great risks in brushing and very little benefit. Once discovered, it is not just a matter of huge fines, but also the possibility of having your online video distribution license revoked. If it really comes to this, it would be a case of losing more than gaining, and being directly cleared out of the video website playback field, suffering a huge loss. After the severe crackdown in the first few years after the policy was introduced, now basically no video website, or other company or individual, dares to inflate clicks or data. The same is true for TV dramas. Whether an online drama can get clicks or whether a TV drama has good ratings depends entirely on your own ability. If you dare to cross the line, you will be killed without mercy. Back to the issue of clicks on online dramas, there are also very intuitive evaluation criteria to determine whether the performance is good or not. The average real click volume per episode exceeds 1 million, which is passing. A single episode with over 5 million views is considered good. A single episode has over 10 million views, which is excellent. A single episode has exceeded 50 million, making it a hit. The single episode has exceeded 100 million views, which is a phenomenon hotly discussed by the whole nation. These are all real clicks. It is impossible to have billions or tens of billions of clicks like Xiao Chu had in his previous life. There are only a very small number of movies that can reach over 100 million per episode and a total of 20 to 30 billion. There may not be one every few years, but once it does, it will be a real phenomenon-level movie-watching storm that will be hotly discussed by the entire nation. Therefore, even though he was confident in the quality of River God, Ju Ching only dared to conclude that the average per episode would exceed 5 million, and Lu Gaoxing only expected it to reach 10 million. If they can really reach 10 million and become an excellent web drama, then they will be successful, and Dolphin Video will be able to reverse the low tide that it has been in for more than half a year. Where is that kid Xiao Chu now? Jong Sung-her suddenly thought of Xiao Chu. Lu Gaoxing replied, after completing the final review work in the morning, the guy just slipped away. I called him and he said he was tired from working overtime these days and wanted to go back to sleep. But I think this guy is not telling the truth. Maybe he is taking advantage of his free time these few days to go on a date with his girlfriend. Jong Sung-her sighed, it's good to be young. You can be carefree, unlike us old guys who are worried and scared here. Ju Ching curled his lips, I'm not an old guy. Kid, why are you arguing with me at this time? Jong Sung-her was a little angry and could not help laughing. Ju Ching ignored him and got up and walked outside. Where did you go? I'm bored, let's go to the bar and drink. Hey, you kid. Jong Sung-her was completely speechless. There were only 2 real old guys left in the office, looking at each other. Jong Sung-her couldn't help but scold Xiao Chu a few more times, if you don't go back to sleep, will Ju Ching dare to leave? Old Jong was wrong to scold him. Xiao Chu returned home, but he did not have a good sleep. Instead, I play chess with others on Yahoo Go. In fact, Xiao Chu slipped back home not because he was careless, but on the contrary, because he was too nervous. River God is just an important job for others, but for Xiao Chu, it means more. This is his debut work, and it is also a touchstone for whether he can gain a foothold in this world and even make a name for himself with what he has accumulated in his previous life. River God was successful in its previous life, and was also recognized by the company in this life, but whether it will be successful or not, it still needs to be tested in the market. Although the 2 worlds have similar cultures and backgrounds, there are still some differences. There is no guarantee that River God, which was popular in the previous life, can be successful in this world. If he succeeds, he will feel at ease. But if you fail, you will cry to death and have lived your life in vain. So, actually, he was really nervous. It's just that his way of relieving tension is a little different. Others may like to sit together and chat, drink, eat, and sleep. He doesn't. He likes playing Go. When he plays Go, he always wants to win and is afraid of losing, and his mood fluctuates depending on the situation. But the more this happens, the more he can vent and release himself. Especially the majestic feeling when slaying the dragon and the raging sea are more satisfying than drinking any wine or chatting. And fleeing and surviving in a miserable state when being slaughtered can also make him devote himself wholeheartedly and then release everything. So as soon as he finished his work in the morning, he slipped back home, turned on his computer, logged into the Yahoo Go app, and started playing Go with others. Even when Li Wenxian called him to go to his house in the evening to have dinner together and wait for the release of River God, he refused. From 12:30, after a simple lunch, he immersed himself in the world of Go, playing with others until dawn. By the evening, he had played more than 10 games, winning 9 and losing 5. In each game, he either won by slaying the dragon or failed to slay the dragon and was killed. But he didn't care whether he won or lost, he just played to his heart's content. At 7:50, after winning another game, he temporarily quit Yahoo and posted a message on WeChat Moments. Tonight at 8 p.m., my first play, River God, will be broadcast exclusively on Dolphin Video. Please pay attention to it. Thank you. Then he put his phone aside and continued playing chess. At exactly 8 o'clock, the Dolphin Video homepage refreshed and a large poster appeared. River God is officially launched. Chapter 26, the first single chapter, very important, readers please come in. River God is finally online, and this book will also be launched for trial at 2 p.m. today. This is really a coincidence. I originally thought that I would be recommended next week. Normally, I would be recommended in the second week after changing my contract status. I changed my status on Monday this week, so I really didn't expect it to be recommended today. On Friday, I suddenly received a message from the back-end recommending me, which really caught me off guard. I am very excited, but more nervous because the number of words is really too small. So far, it is less than 60,000 words. I will definitely be at a disadvantage in a competition I have worked very hard to write and ensured a stable update of 2 chapters every day, crying. The day before yesterday, which was Friday, the day I sent a short message to the recommendation site, the second chapter was not updated until after 11 o'clock in the evening. It was not because I was lazy, but because I was really too nervous. Old readers should all know that the trial push basically determines the fate of a book. If it performs well and advances, everything will go smoothly. But if it fails, there will be no recommendation. Sometimes I fantasize that this book is going to take off and make a comeback, and sometimes I wonder if it will flop, fail to advance, and be abandoned by the editor. I was really nervous, very nervous. These two emotions intertwined together, making me excited and nervous. It took me a long time to slowly calm down and barely adjust my state to write, so I was so late. In the book, Xiaochu said that he was nervous, but actually he was confident in his heart. River God had the achievements in the previous life, the support of his teachers, and the recognition of the company, so it wouldn't be too bad. But I really have no idea. I don't have these, I only have you. I type silently and have no idea how well I write. I can only judge whether my writing is good or not based on your feedback such as collections, recommendations, rewards, comments, etc. Fortunately, after I published the book, the number of collections and recommendations increased. After I changed my status, I also received a lot of rewards, which made me feel more at ease. I am very grateful to every friend who has given me a reward, no matter how much, I am extremely grateful. Every time I log into the backstage and see new rewards, I am very excited. This shows that someone recognizes the stories I write and will spend money to support them. Thank you so much. I have also noticed the friends who voted for recommendations and commented. Every day when I see familiar faces in the recommendation votes, I feel secretly happy, because this shows that the article is not corrupted, which is why you keep reading and voting. I read every comment, including the chapter comments, but I rarely reply to the chapter comments because I am afraid that if I say too much, it will affect the reading experience. After all, I am a storyteller and I need to stand outside the book. But I really like to read the chapter comments and I read every one of them more than once. In fact, writing daily articles is both simple and difficult. It is simple because as long as you want to write, you can always come up with some words. The reason why I say it is difficult is that daily writing must be written in an interesting and attractive way to attract readers to continue reading. This is not easy, so I think it is still quite difficult. At least I used up a lot of brain cells. With a detailed outline, it took me more than 2 hours to write each chapter until I was satisfied with it. It was really not easy. Well, I said so much because I hope that this book can go further. I urge everyone to pass by, and if you think it is pleasing to the eye, please add it to your collection. If you think it is interesting beyond its pleasing to the eye, please give it a few more votes for recommendation and read it more. This is very important for this book. Thank you in advance. After posting this chapter, I will take a break, and then hurry up to write, and try to get the second chapter out as soon as possible. If the results are good and there are many readers, I will also try to add more chapters to repay everyone. That is all, thanks from the South. P.S. After the recommendation in the afternoon, I dare not look at the collection in the background, otherwise I will definitely not be in the mood to write, and my mentality will be weak.jpg, and I will run away tilde. Chapter 27, the first hour. River God appeared on the homepage of Dolphin Video and was officially launched. According to the general broadcast mode of online dramas, 4 episodes are released every week, with 2 episodes premiering on Wednesday and 2 more episodes updated on Thursday. Even though there are only 4 episodes in the first week, it is crucial for every web drama. The performance in the first week basically determines the direction of a web drama, and even its life or death. If the word of mouth for the first 4 episodes is excellent and the viewing experience is good, the number of clicks will increase rapidly. At the same time, the word of mouth will also ferment quickly, forming a small climax in the first 3 days of the weekend: Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If the trial is successful, the company and website will allocate resources to promote it vigorously, hoping to create topics, stir up heated discussions, and arouse expectations for the show before the next week's update. If the quality of the film is really high, there will generally be the first wave of drama viewing the following weekend, with an explosion in clicks, a popular topic, and an appearance on trending searches, or even going straight out of the circle, causing heated discussions across the entire network, turning it into a hit, or even a phenomenal drama. Otherwise, the film will flop silently, not to mention becoming a hit. It won't even be able to be completed normally and will be directly cut short. So when River God comes online, many people will feel very excited, nervous, expectant, and worried. People like Jong Song-her and Lu Gaoxing chose to stay in the company and observe the data as soon as possible. Ju Qing chose to go to the bar and get drunk. Xiao Chu, on the other hand, stayed at home playing chess. No matter how you react, the mood is actually the same. At 8 p.m., as the time just passed, Jong Song-her's left hand couldn't help tapping the table again, and Lu Gaoxing picked up the newspaper again, but they were actually a little distracted. Their minds were all on River God. But the data will only be available in an hour, and then refreshed every hour, so there is no point in being anxious now, you can only wait. Old Lu, how about we go to the small restaurant downstairs and have a drink? Jong Song-her suggested, preparing to follow Ju Qing's example. Okay, we'll come up later. Lu Gaoxing agreed. It was really tiring to just wait here. In the rental house in Daoyuan community, after Xiao Chu posted that message on WeChat Moments, he muted his phone, threw it aside, and continued playing chess on the computer. Just when I was halfway down, the phone rang. I picked it up and saw it was a call from my best friend from college, Lu Bo. He turned on the external speaker and answered the phone while playing chess. Continent, what's going on? Chu, are you so direct? I have to have something to call you. It can't be that I miss you. A rough and teasing voice came from the other end of the phone. It was Xiao Chu's best friend Lu Bo. In response to this guy's teasing, Xiao Chu only responded with one word. Roll. Hey, Xiao Chu, are you really so heartless? I've already moved to the imperial capital, so far away, and you still want me to go. Besides, we haven't seen each other for almost half a year, don't you really miss me at all? Lu Bo said resentfully. Xiao Chu made a move, capturing 2 of his opponent's chess pieces, and then replied, You only acted in a play for half a year, and you're already acting like a drama queen. Is there anything wrong? If not, I'm hanging up now. Oh, so impatient. Are you dating Lin Yu or playing chess? Playing chess, preparing to slay the dragon. Xiao Chu replied. Lu Bo muttered, I think so too. Ren Lin Yu is very busy now and has no time to come back for a date with you. Xiao Chu frowned, are you okay? If not, I'll hang up. My game is getting intense right now. Lu Bo laughed it off, nothing, I just saw your post on WeChat Moments and came to congratulate you. Many of my classmates saw it and liked and retweeted it. Xiao Chu is amazing. I've been acting in a play for such a long time, but it hasn't been released yet. I was planning to return home in glory after becoming famous, but I didn't expect the play you wrote to be released first. It's amazing. Xiao Chu hung up the phone directly. It seemed that this guy really had nothing to do and playing chess was more important. After hanging up, he simply turned off his phone and concentrated on playing chess. When Lu Bo made the call, it was at the Xiao family in Dongjiangyuan City, Jiangyu Province. 1111 walked out of the room and said to her parents who were waiting in the living room, Dad, Mom, the play my brother wrote is online. Wang Suixiang put down her needlework and asked, 1111, have you finished the dolphin video I asked you to download? 1111 nodded, yes, I downloaded one for your and Dad's phones, and registered them as members. Okay, then quickly help me and your dad find your brother's play. We won't do it. 1111 replied softly, okay. Then he walked over, picked up their phones, opened Dolphin Video, and clicked on River God on the homepage. Her own had already been opened. My daughter, please post your brother's play to the group, and ask your brothers and sisters, uncles and aunts to give your brother some credit. Dad Xiao Dongshan suddenly interrupted. 1111 nodded again and sent the video link to the family group. Magic City, Li family. Today is Wednesday, and Li Xianyan has not come home as usual. Only Li Wenqian and He Huan are at home. After dinner, the old couple, who usually went out for a walk together when they had nothing to do, did not go today and just waited at home. As soon as 8 o'clock arrived, He Huan looked at her husband and said, Lao Li, is it online? Can I watch it now? Li Wenqian, who was originally reading the news, immediately quit the browser, opened the Dolphin Video app, and replied, it's out, you can watch it now. Okay, send me the link and I'll send it to my colleagues and students to get more clicks for Achu, He Huan reminded. As Lao Li copied the link, he said, Achu's play is very good, and the performance should be fine. You don't need to go to so much trouble. He Huan curled her lips, what do you know? The more the better, okay? There are thousands of people in my colleague group, and there are hundreds of people in the student group. If everyone clicks on it, wouldn't the number of clicks on our Choose play be even higher? He Huan is a teacher at Shanghai Vocational and Technical College. She has quite a few colleagues and students in her group. If you share the link with them, there will definitely be people who will go and see it. The more people there are, the better. She ignored Lao Li's grumbling and sent the link he forwarded to her colleagues and several student groups as soon as she received it. There was a response soon. In the student group, a student asked, Teacher He, is this Xiao Chu our senior? Does our school have a screenwriting major? He Huan explained, no, he is my husband's student and graduated from Shanghai Film Academy. Please support him. Since he is my senior student, he is also my senior brother. I should support him. Yes, support master, support senior brother Xiao. I'm signing in too, to support Mr. He, my teacher, and senior Xiao. Yeah, I also support Mr. He and senior Xiao. He Huan gets along very well with the students, and many of them express their support. After a while, someone who explored the way came back to report, hey, this is a good beginning, very catchy, like a fine drama, strong support. It's really good. The prologue is very eye-catching, and the river worship ceremony is also quite interesting. I like the little river god, so handsome. What a handsome ass, is she as handsome as me? I like the little witch, wow, this figure and this voice are exactly what I like. Am I the only one who likes old witches? Please give me a thumbs up if you agree. Oh, Liu Dong, your taste. I surrender. The response in the group was very enthusiastic, and the student group instantly became a group for chatting about drama. However, the scene in the group of colleagues is quite different. After He Huan sent out the link and noted a play written by Lao Li's students, many teachers came out to support, especially some female teachers, who spoke more enthusiastically. Teacher He, this seems to be more than the first time I've heard you mention Lao Li, your student. Tell me, since you care so much about him, are you planning to make him your son-in-law? That's right. I've heard it several times. Either they want to adopt a godson or they want to find a son-in-law. It's clearly written on their faces. Old he, when will you bring him to the school so that we can check him out for you? Finding a son-in-law is like finding a son, so you have to keep your eyes open and make sure you're the right person. Yes, I'll help watch it too, I'm sure you'll see it clearly. Juan looked at the group of women's jokes, laughed and scolded, and replied, don't talk nonsense, Archu has a girlfriend and will be engaged at the end of the year. You can break up even if you have a girlfriend. We haven't got a marriage certificate yet. By then your daughter will be grown up. How great is that? When Juan heard this, she spat again and was too lazy to bother with these old women. Bishué number 3, Riverview Villa. Liu Jia was dumbfounded when she saw the dozen or so mobile phones that Xia Tingchan took out. Tingchan, when did you buy so many mobile phones? How come I didn't know? Xia Tingchan blinked and didn't answer. He just unlocked the apps one by one silently, logged into the Dolphin Video app, and clicked on River God. Liu Jia looked at Xiaoari. Xiaoari hesitated and said, Sister Chan asked me to buy it, saying it was to support Teacher Xiao. Liu Jia turned around and said, the play written by Teacher Xiao is online. We should support it, but there is no need to buy so many mobile phones, right? Isn't it too exaggerated? This time Xiaoari didn't know how to answer. Liu Jia looked at Xia Tingchan again. Xia Tingchan said calmly, didn't you tell me to get along well with Xiaochu? Liu Jia. Xia Tingchan ignored her, picked up her usual mobile phone, logged into Weibo, reposted the link of River God, and added 4 words. I love so much. Xia Tingchan has 5 million followers on Weibo. Although she has been a bit quiet in the past 2 years, she has always been there, and most of them are die-hard fans. As soon as I saw the Weibo post she posted, I was blown away. Sister Chan finally posted on Weibo again? Oh my god, what lucky day is today? Sister Chan, I love you so much, I'm so happy. After 3 months, I finally waited for you to update your blog again. I love you, Moir. Cicadas, come out and chirp, the goddess sister has appeared again. Sister Chan likes it very much. What is this, a new web drama? Since Sister Chan likes it, I must watch it. No matter what it is, as long as Sister Chan likes it, then I will like it too. I will forward it first and then watch it. Hey, follow the line, turn first and then look. Hey, it seems pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad, but a little scary. Is there any brother who can watch it with me? I want to watch it with you, but what should I do if I already have a cicada goddess? Get lost, the cicada goddess is mine, no one is allowed to snatch it from me. Do you want to duel with me? If you dare to snatch the cicada goddess from me, ask the big knife in my hand first. All of you go away. Sister Chan belongs to everyone. That's right, hurry up and watch the show, don't defile this peaceful place that Sister Chan left for us. The comment section of Xia Tingchan's Weibo was full of joy, just like the new year. Their cicadas made all kinds of joyful complaints, and then followed the footsteps of the goddess cicada and clicked on the link to River God. An hour passed quickly. 21:05, the data of the first hour of River God came out. Zhang Songher and Lu Gaoxing both came to their computer screen at the same time and looked carefully with their eyes wide open.